Have no fear. Wednesday is here and we are ready to rock and roll. We got to talk about several big topics. I know we're a few minutes late, but better late than never. Here we go. And where do we begin, ladies and gentlemen? It has been a massive week in the college football world. It's been a massive week in the Alabama football world. And today we have got to dive in. We've got to talk about it all. You already know how the show works. Hop down in the chat. Let us know what you're thinking about. Jor already in here. Cynthia, Kevin. We got Larry, Chris, Antonio. Sweet home. Thank you all for being in here. We have got, like I said, an absolute ton to break down and talk about. As it was yesterday, don't have a graphic for today. So what we're going to do, you're just going to be seeing my face up until the next segment. But fear not, we still have topics. We still have conversation pieces. Today, we're going to be talking about Saban in DC. We're going to talk about what he had to say. We're going to talk about everything around that. But we're also going to talk about what absolutely drives me insane. Not only in general, but specifically with this industry in particular. It is one of the things that drives me up a wall. It is easily one of my least favorite things, and it's because of where I come from. It's because of what I used to do. We're going to talk about all of that. We're also going to talk about recruiting. Listen, it's March. There's not a day that goes by you're not going to see me, and we're not going to be talking about recruiting, especially with so many big names taking visits, with them thinking about where they're going to go. It's no better time for us to dive into recruiting. This is the season. Outside of that, we're going to talk about the most exciting rooms during spring practice. Now, this is one that I can't do by myself, everybody in the Undefeated. I need your help on this one. I'm going to give you the rooms I'm most excited about. But when we get to that segment, I'm going to need you guys. I need you guys to let me know what rooms you're most excited about. And we're going to break down every single one of them. And if we end up breaking down every position on the team, so be it. That's what we're going to do here today. So, like I said, action-packed as always. And to top it all off, whatever you want talked about, you just let me know. Whatever you would like talked about, you just let me know. And we are going to dive into it. So, we're going to start with Nick Saban on Capitol Hill. And whenever we talk about Nick Saban on Capitol Hill, he went there to try and advocate for changes within NIL, for changes within college football, changes that would, in his view, be more sustainable to the game that we all love. And if I just put this in a vacuum and I didn't give you any name, anyone else think Ty is wearing plaid and boots when he streams? No. I got the Nike shorts on. I got some slides on today. Yesterday I had the 11s on. I had the cool gray 11s on and some khakis. I actually don't own, I only have one pair of boots, Jor. And it's just some ratty work boots. I don't have any like I used to. I used to have the cowboy hat, the boots, whole 9 yards. Whole 9 yards. I don't know where y'all are at. Y'all have those country western stores, Cavenders. But my dad was actually very good friends with him. So every time we'd go to some of these horse shows, if we knew where Clay would be, he'd go in there and he'd shape the hat up. And my dad had a really misshapen head, so he had to get it all custom. Yeah, good times. Corey says, "Roll Tide. It's my birthday." Everybody in the Undefeated, you already know what to do. We have a birthday from one of the family members. Corey, thank you so much. Happy birthday. And I say thank you because it is your day and you are choosing to spend it here with us. I talk about this all the time. Two most important things in life, health and time. And the fact that you are giving your time on your day to us to be a part of the community, to come in here, to interact, that means the world. Everybody drop some happy birthdays in the chat for Corey. Corey, hope you have a great day. Hope you have something planned to celebrate yourself. Life is short. Take in those moments. And this, Corey, that's to you, but that's for everybody in the Undefeated. Life is short. Be sure to take the moments, right? Be sure to take the moments as they come. Because I'm sure we can all think of a time that happened 4 or 5 years ago. And when we think about that time 4 and 5 years ago, the thought that comes right after is how has time gone so fast? Whether that was a family member's graduation or an important event in your life, and you think back to it, and your entire mind frame is how has time moved so fast? So be sure to take advantage of the small moments and enjoy them with your friends, with your family. Corey, means the world that you're here with us. Thank you very much. Steph says, Ty, good morning, big dog. Great day ahead. Awesome day ahead, Steph. I'm going to rant today. I'm going to get a little bit unhinged today, but it's going to be a good time, right? That's what we do here. It's going to be a good time. It's going to be a great time. Jor says, you live in Texas and only own one pair of boots. I know, man. I know. I can't tell you how many pairs I've gone through, though. I can't tell you how many pairs I've gone through. Walking around with the boots and spurs. Yeah, I was there. I was there. And you can literally watch time progressing. Yeah, Jor. I don't have any kids, but like I just, through family, it's just take it. The older I get, the more and more I realize, like, smell the roses. You know what I mean? Like, take those seconds, take those minutes, take that hour to be present in where you are and what you're doing, and to really grasp that. And I think that that's great advice for everybody, but certainly great advice for the birthday boy, because it is his day. So Corey, once again, happy birthday, my man. Thank you for being in here. We're going to make sure people have that good happy birthdays to you. There's always good greetings. So a lot of fun here. Caleb, thank you for being in here. Valencia, thank you for coming in here, hanging out with us. So we're going to talk and start this off with Nick Saban on Capitol Hill. Whenever we're talking about Nick Saban on Capitol Hill, we kind of started talking about this, where whenever you're listening to what he's saying, it's about sustainability. It's about what is best for the college game. And the part that I thought was just insane is, if you go on Twitter, if you start listening to discourse just around the nation about Nick Saban going on Capitol Hill, you would think that Nick Saban tried to light the place on fire. People are irate about what he had to say. And the part that drives me up a wall about this industry is the lack of nuance. Right? The absolute lack of nuance. Now, I've said this before, I'm going to say it again. Right? I come from a background of speech and debate. I went to a high school. It didn't have a ton of money. I ended up having emergency surgeries that rendered me unable to play football because of health reasons. I was constantly in and out of surgeries. And so I couldn't do anything for a while. I started the debate team. We didn't have a coach. I coached it. We went to nationals. We ended up winning through the Texas regions, went to nationals. I then went to college, joined Moot Court, and had a lot of success there as well. The year before I graduated, I was rated as the number 6 undergraduate legal advocate in the nation. And then I backed it up once again with a top 10 finish at nationals, both my junior and senior year. So I've done this. I bring you all of that to paint the picture of, I have only known the world of nuance and these conversation pieces. But it's also why I feel uniquely qualified, as I hit a Kobe Bryant-like shot. It's also why I feel uniquely qualified whenever we start talking about what Nick Saban was talking about. Capitol Hill, the effects of it, and then I start hearing the discourse. This is where I feel uniquely qualified to chime in and give my opinion on both what Nick Saban said and the way people are handling this. And we're going to start with what Nick Saban said, because it's not surprising. This isn't surprising. If you listen, you've heard people talk about it. You've heard coaches talk about it. Lane Kiffin has talked about how, yes, NIL is working for us right now. Look at what we've been able to accomplish, but it doesn't mean it's working. This message is not relegated to Nick Saban. This message is something that has been echoed from several different coaches. Coach Prime out at Colorado has talked about it. Lane Kiffin has talked about it. Nick Saban has talked about it. So many of these coaches have echoed the same things Nick Saban is saying. And for everyone that has spoke out, I guarantee you there's 15, 20, 30 that haven't said anything but feel the exact same way. I guarantee it. I would guarantee it. So Nick Saban goes and he starts talking about where NIL is coming short, where college football is in a dangerous place. You have NIL with absolutely no bearings on it, no holds to it. And what's more is the NCAA can't police it if they wanted. They're caught in between a rock and a hard place. And you might be asking yourself, well, how come they can't police it? Because the NCAA is scared of getting sued any more than they already have. There's a reason why I've continued to bring your attention to these lawsuits levied against the NCAA, whether we're talking House, whether we're talking Johnson, whether we talked about Alston, which was ruled a few years ago where Justice Kavanaugh made a sweeping decision talking about the NCAA's antitrust structure. There's a reason why I keep bringing these cases to your attention, because they're all going to be incredibly important to how college football and how college athletics are ran going forward. It's all happening right before our very eyes. Nick Saban said the quiet part out loud. But we live in a world where there is such a lack of nuance in certain areas of our discourse that it doesn't matter how true the words may be. What matters is who the messenger is. And if it's not the correct messenger, people aren't going to care. This is the problem I've had, and I've continually called it out with this industry. Listen, I love talking college football. I love sport media, right? It's amazing. But there is a glaring lack of nuance. And I don't know whether people are purposefully disingenuous or they can't critically think past step 3. I'm not quite sure which one it is. We'll figure it out. I don't know which one it is, though. This is a problem, and this is a complaint that Hacker, you've been around my channel for a while, man. Jeff, you have as well. But Hacker, I know good and well, Hacker has been around my channel since I was at like 1,000 subscribers, maybe less, maybe 800. Hacker has been around my channel, and I've for a long time. At least 1,000, because that's when I know I started live streaming, and I know he would always be in the live streams giving great comments. Okay. The reason why I bring that up, Hacker, if you've been around my channel, you've heard me talk about the lack of nuance in this industry and how people will instantly hear something, not be able to critically think about it, get on Twitter and just start spewing things for clicks. It makes no sense. Everybody wants to agree with the discourse and the subject matter Nick Saban said, unless it's Nick Saban saying it. And then you get on Twitter and you have all these people, oh, Nick Saban made $70 million. How can he has a net worth of $70 million. How can he talk about this? What does him being gainfully employed have to do with the sweeping changes that have occurred in college football over the course of, say, the past 5 years? The sweeping changes that were directed from the Supreme Court. And now everything is reeling. Everybody knows there's a problem, but people want to be purposefully facetious and disingenuous and act like the problem is the messenger as opposed to the message. And it drives me up a wall. I don't understand how we can be so disingenuous. I don't know. Like I said, I don't know whether people are purposefully not getting the message so that way they can put out their inflammatory tweets, get rage clicks, because that's what everything is now. It's not about principled, good discourse. It's not about getting to the bottom of anything. That's not what it's about. That's not what it's about. It's about rage clicks. How can I go viral? And it's not just relegated to this industry, unfortunately. I mean, really think about where we are in terms of discourse. That's the state of discourse right now. It's not about thorough conversation where we actually accomplish something. It doesn't matter whether I agree or disagree with what you're saying. How can I try and find a clip to dunk on you to make it seem like I know better? Or it's facetious what you're talking about. It is ridiculous. It's ridiculous. There's a reason why I really like what Kyle does here. There's a reason why I like the people I make content with. I like the people like Josh Pate because that's not what they do. Josh Pate has a massive platform. If he really wanted to farm clicks, my God, he could do it better than anybody. And listen, you might sit there and think, I don't agree with what he's saying. It's fine to disagree. But you have to ask yourself, what is the purpose of this statement? And understand, yes, the purpose for all of us in this industry is to get our takes viewed. That's how we end up being able to do this, to make money. But if you're more concerned with enraging people, with going viral, than you are with starting principled discourse, you're barking up the wrong tree, in my opinion. Now, you'll be far more successful doing that, but you're barking up the wrong tree. It's one of the same reasons where when I started my channel, I was not going to start talking about all of these negative things. Why? Because there are so many channels out there that are going to talk about these negative things. And listen, negativity is a part of life. I'm not going to shy away from that. My point is if someone gets in trouble, I'll give you a great example. It didn't happen at Alabama. Because all of you know I cover college football in general. It didn't this event I'm about to tell you did not happen at Alabama. Happened at a different college. A bunch of players made a boneheaded decision, and one moment within 15 minutes really changed the trajectory of not only their football careers, their lives. All of them got in trouble legally and with the school. I had a bunch of fans from that team asking me, Ty, are you going to make a video about what happened and talk about it? Well, I ended up making a video, but not in the manner where my entire video was 10 minutes of saying these kids did something stupid and bad and this and that. Everybody knows they did something stupid and bad. And now they have to pay for that. Everybody's talking about that. You want to know the approach I took? Let's talk about the 3 kids on this roster that now have an opportunity to push for their dreams. They've been in the background working as hard as everybody else. They didn't mess up. Instead of focusing the story on the 3 guys that messed up, how about we focus the story on now the 3 guys that have an opportunity to make a name for themselves, to push for something in their dreams? That's what I mean about we choose the type of discourse we engage in. Are we going to talk about something that lends itself to positivity, that lends itself to actual conversations, or are we going to try and enrage to get a reaction out of somebody? And if you are, why? Are you doing it just for the sake of going viral, or are you doing it because you're trying to use inflammatory rhetoric to create discourse? And there is a difference. There is a difference. Nick Saban goes to Capitol Hill, says the quiet part out loud, says what every coach that has talked about NIL has echoed, but somehow, now that it's coming from him, he's against players getting paid. And that's the sole reason he left the sport, and this and that and the other. Nick Saban has advocated for players being compensated. That's the part that I don't get. Nick Saban is simply saying, in our current capacities, this is not sustainable. We have created an environment where it is not sustainable. We have opened Pandora's box, and we can no longer close it. Nick Saban says that the best idea would be revenue sharing, and he's right. If you're really worried about parity, if you're really worried about equity and competitiveness, then you do what the NFL does. It's that simple. Every team has the exact same money to work with, and I even liked what Nick Saban said. He said, hey, you have that. You have that the same way. Everybody works with this in a revenue share. And then if Gatorade wants to sponsor Nico, Gatorade can go sponsor Nico on top of that. That's what name, image, and likeness was all about. And I would then fall upon athlete to go on their own. So I'm not sure about the revenue share to scholarship, since that is redeemed on a year-to-year basis, and NIL would then fall upon athlete to get on their own. Yeah, so that's the part I'm not 100% sure about how the intricacies would work, and especially because we have prior court cases that state that athletes cannot be considered as employees, and in order for this to work, those court cases would have to go by the wayside, right? Like that would have to change. You would have to make sweeping changes to the system of college football in order to save college football. But as it's currently going, it's an absolute arms race, right? There are no holds. There are so many ways to work around things. We talked about this last night. Someone asked me whether or not I thought that the transfer portal could help solve the problems we have in NIL, like doing something about the transfer portal could solve something for NIL. And I said, no, I think it's the exact opposite. I think if you fix NIL, you fix a lot of the things we're frustrated about in the transfer portal. That was my take on it, at least. If you fix NIL, you fix a lot of the things in the transfer portal. The reason why I said that, it goes hand in hand with what I talk about with NIL. There are no real rules. Yes, there are rules in which you can and can't do, but do you realize how easy it is to break those rules? Let's talk about tampering for a second. You want to know how much of a joke the tampering rule is? I'm going to give you this example. Larry, you go to Virginia Tech. I go to Cal. I'm using the exact same teams I used in the example last night. So Larry Large, you go to Virginia Tech. I go to Cal. Now, you and I, Larry, we had some camps together down in Houston or wherever. We had a 7-on-7. We were on the same team, absolutely dominated. We took some camp circuits together, enjoyed being on the same team. We got along real well, had a great time. What if I hit you up at the end of the season and say, hey, man, hope you're doing well. We have been doing great things over here. We got a quarterback, super excited about. You're a wide receiver, right? And I noticed that y'all have some quarterback issues over there right now. Well, we got a quarterback we love over here. He's doing great work. But we do need some help at wide receiver. Can't wait to see how that ends up. Basically, what I'm telling you, ladies and gentlemen, is tampering can be legal so long as it happens from the players. You can't legislate friends talking to friends. That's why I give you the example. If Larry and I knew each other through high school, through the camp circuits, he goes to Virginia Tech, I go to Cal, I can then hit him up, Instagram, text, whatever, and be like, hey, man, how you feeling? You enjoying your time over there? I love what we got going over here. Or I could do vice versa. Hey, man, how you guys got that exciting quarterback up there? Got an exciting quarterback up there, and we got some quarterback issues. What's your wide receiver room looking like? You got some wide receivers you're excited about? And then maybe Larry hits me back with, "Oh yeah, man, like we got some stuff working, but we could, it'd be different if we had you over here." You know what I mean? I remember what you were doing on those camp circuits, and heck, man, we got this sweet NIL deal where everybody on the team is getting X amount of money, and then they're helping. That's tampering. It's not coming from the coaches, it's not coming from the institution, but you can't legislate players reaching out to each other. So how do you think a lot of this tampering happens behind the scenes? It's not coaches hitting up these players in their DMs, and if it is, they're stupid. If the coaches are doing it, they're the ones that need to get suspended. Less because they're breaking the rules and more because they're breaking the rules dumb. Like the way they're going about it is just dumb. So these are all the things that we talk about whenever we're talking about NIL transfer portal. Exactly, hacker. It's a complicated problem to fix. At every turn, there's a roadblock of either antitrust or how collective bargaining would work, or whether players to be employees and how Title IX fits. And this is the thing. This is, I think, hacker, you have so eloquently. This is a beautiful comment. I want to leave this up for a little bit because this is where I want to unpack next. We have a lot to work for, and we have a lot to work through, ladies and gentlemen. Hacker just put this comment up here right now, and it is 100% true. Is there a solution? Yes, but the solution means we have got to fix multiple different problems. The solution is fixing multiple different problems. Instead of having that conversation, everybody's just on Twitter trying to dunk on Nick Saban. Even though I guarantee you, if you look at a lot of the Twitter profiles dunking on Nick Saban, if you look at their past tweets, if you look at their replies, if you look at their likes, they're liking tweets, they're interacting with tweets that are echoing the exact same sentiments that Nick Saban said. They just don't like the messenger. People are so sensitive nowadays that they can say there was somebody on Twitter, and I ended up quote tweeting it. But their basic premise was, like I said, Nick Saban's net worth is X amount of dollars. Well, in the Twitter thread, this guy went on to say, oh, yes, Nick Saban's points, valid as they may be, and they are valid, but it's coming from Nick Saban. At the point when he said that, I was like, okay, you're just not serious. Like, you're just not serious. You're admitting that he has valid points. What he is saying is right. You just don't like that it's coming from Nick Saban. I think that's more of a you issue than an actual issue. But what do I know? I was only trained in discourse, right? Like, what do I know about discourse? Sweet Home says, unless you're Iowa and coach is hitting up Proctor. Yeah. It's all just intertwined, Dwight, in terms of how you would have to go about redoing scholarship distribution, whether or not employees I lost my train of thought there reading comments. It has to do, I'm not exactly sure the Title IX, but the thing is that's not the first time I've seen that. Oh, it's sex-based discrimination. So that would be basically just making sure that you don't have inequities between the sports. Did you see Saban's daughter clapping back a Tennessee fan about all of this? I have not, but I'm clapping back as well because it's ridiculous, Jimmy. Like I just said, I don't know if you just came in here, Jimmy. I saw someone yesterday post on Twitter. As valid as Saban's comments may be, the gist of their post was, yeah, everything Saban is saying is valid, but it hurts my feelings that it's coming from Saban. So instead of actually creating discourse, I'm just going to hop on Twitter and cry. And it's like, what are we doing, man? Like, what are we doing? I think they're basing it because women's sports would be slashed. That's exactly it, Jor. You'd have to make sure that there's not like a disparity. Cynthia says, what a dumb post. I couldn't believe it. Morning fam, thumbs up, please. Undefeated. Thank you so much. If you guys are coming in here, hit the like button. Completely free. Completely free to do so. We love making this content for all of you. It's an absolute pleasure and it's a great time. Cynthia says, what a dumb post. Yeah, absolutely. There's nothing more really I have to say about it, guys. It's just, it drives me up a wall to see the discourse on this. It makes no sense to me. And I just don't understand how people I kicked this all off with. I don't know whether people are being purposefully disingenuous or they just don't get it. How we can all agree a month ago that there's a massive problem in college football. We all agreed that. Everybody agreed a month ago there is a massive problem in college football with NIL and with the transfer portal and with the NCAA doing nothing. But when Nick Saban says it, we're all going to pretend like everything is hunky-dory and fine. That's the part I don't get. People would be willing. It would all the thing that I think frustrates me, and this is the last thing I'll say on it. You know what it reminds me of? You're in the desert, you're lost, you're dying of dehydration. Someone comes up to you with a bottle of water, but it's Dasani. And you're like, no, thank you, I'd rather die. And it's like, buddy, you need water. Take the water. Drink the water. We all need water. It's unconscionable. People just don't want to hear this because it's coming from Nick Saban, Brian says. I 100% agree. I 100% agree. That would be my thought, Jor. It certainly seems like you could just do it through a work study. But once again, you'd have to have the NCAA, you'd have to have these entities want to be proactive. And right now, they're just being reactive. And that's the part that absolutely, I can't stand that, man. I can't stand that. It is what it is, though. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? Moving on to talking about some recruiting, because it's been a great time for Alabama in the month of March. Speed says the ironic thing is all this could be argued to slow Nick Saban and make it more fair for everybody else. I mean, you're not wrong. NCAA is a joke. The NCAA is a joke. And the NCAA can't act, right? So, like, Todd, not only is the NCAA a joke, but the NCAA can't act because right now they're not acting with self-preservation for the sport of college football. The NCAA is trying to act out of self-preservation for themselves, not college football. They're acting out of self-preservation for themselves. That's why they won't do anything. That's why they dropped their countersuits against Tennessee and all them, because they realized we're going to end up in court. We don't want to do that. They're scrambling. That's why they begged Congress to do something. Instead of doing something themselves, they would rather have Congress bail them out. I didn't see that, Jor. I did not see that. Is it fair to say that, Ty, that the NCAA waited too long to act on NIL? It's 100% fair to say that, Kevin Lynch. It's 100% fair to say that. Now, Kevin, I've said this multiple times, and I'm going to say it again. For those of you that have heard me say it multiple times, I apologize. But I do want, because you asked the question. Alston versus NCAA came down. They were looking at something very microscopic, right? Because the scope of the court, they have to focus on what they have to focus on. And even though they were there talking about one thing in particular, Justice Kavanaugh took a step back and basically lit the NCAA on fire. He took a step back from what they were there to talk about and said, hey, I want to talk about you for a second, though. And I don't mean one part of you. I mean all of you. You're illegal, NCAA. You cannot not pay people off of the theory that you don't have to pay people. There's not another industry in the nation that would get away with what you're getting away with. That's what he was saying to the NCAA. There's no other industry in the nation that would get away with not paying their workers a fair market wage off of the theory of the fair market wage. Oh, 100%, Kevin, but it leads us into an interesting discussion, right? And you know me, anytime I have an opportunity to create meaningful discourse, I'm going to take that opportunity to create meaningful discourse. NCAA versus Alston comes down. How much longer? No, this is a question for everybody in the undefeated. So Justice Kavanaugh says your antitrust structure is illegal. He basically paints a target on the back of the NCAA and begs anybody to sue them with an antitrust lawsuit. How long after NCAA versus Alston came down do you think the NCAA rolled out NIL? That's an open-ended question for everybody in the undefeated. Once I start getting some answers, I will reveal how long it took. But I want to hear from everybody in the undefeated. I want to get a gauge of how long people think it took from the moment that court case ended to NIL being a thing. How long do you think it took? Half a minute, says Cynthia. 8 weeks. Kevin says right away. Nove says 8 weeks. Nove, that would be a best case scenario. It took them 10 days. So you never had NIL. You wouldn't do NIL, but the second that the court looks at you and says your antitrust structure is suspect, it took them 10 days to roll out NIL. And remember, when NIL rolled out, it was not equitable. And what I mean when I say it wasn't equitable is they allowed the states to decide. You had a governing body that's entire purpose is to ensure fairness in the sport, say, you know what? No, let the states decide. So that way, if the state of Louisiana decides that you can only cap NIL at $1,000 per person, I'm just giving examples here, that's fine. But Texas, you can pay them whatever you want. Ladies and gentlemen, if you remember, whenever NIL came down, Alabama, Florida, along with several other states, they had passed legislation about NIL. They were trying to be proactive. Well, in the act of being proactive, they handcuffed themselves. That's why the Alabama state legislature, the Florida state legislature had to go back during that next session and fix the laws that they had put on the books about NIL, because their laws were far more restrictive than what the NCAA had put forward. So for the first year of NIL, you had schools, you had states out there that were on total unequal playing ground, not in terms of the money being thrown around, in terms of what you could do. In some places, it was perfectly legal to enact in some of these NIL deals, whereas in other states, it was illegal. That's what I mean when I say the NCAA is completely acting in self-preservation. It took them 10 days. And it wasn't even well thought out. There was no equitable footing. There was no provisions. They basically just said to the states, figure it out. These people are paid. These people probably drive home from their job in some nice vehicle to some nice house, but we can't get anything done. Like, I don't understand this. I don't understand this. It's not, this is difficult. This is not easy, but it's not that difficult. You have that many heads in one room, which, listen, that can sometimes be a problem. It's not that difficult. You want to know how I know it's not that difficult? Because you figured out NIL 10 days after you had to. If you really wanted to get it done, you could have gotten it done before then. And if you really wanted to do it in good faith, you could have at least put something out there that was going to be sustainable, that was going to work. But that's not what we saw. That's not what we saw. So yeah, Kevin, no, 100%. I know you were asking a rhetorical question, but that I always have to talk about that because it really does paint why we are here. That's how all of this came to be. 10 days. That's it. 10 days. That's how all of this came to be. That's why I will always talk about it, because it's ridiculous to me. All right, let's move into some recruiting. Because March has been big for Alabama. I said it was going to be big for Alabama. Everybody out there knew March was going to be a really fun time. February, before the dead period, and January is what I would refer to as foundational recruiting. You're just building the foundation with these guys. You're building the relationship. You're really trying to put this in a positive direction. Shake hands, get to know them, the whole 9 yards. Well, whenever you look at what's to come next, you need to be excited. We have Duke Johnson, who's going to be committing on March 20th. Now, Alabama is going to be a player to watch here. They're not alone, but they are going to be a player to watch here for a very talented prospect. Another guy who I'm watching very closely is Luke Metz out of the state of Georgia. 3-star linebacker, and every year I give you guys about 10 to 15 players. And I say, hey, keep an eye out on this guy. This is where he ranks right now, but when it's all said and done, he is going to be in a much different position in the rankings. Ladies and gentlemen, Luke Metz is going to be our first under-the-radar guy for 2025. Write it down right now. Luke Metz is our first under-the-radar guy for 2025 for my list. 3-star guy. You turn on the film, you would come back to me asking questions as to how is he a 3-star guy. I don't know. I haven't figured that out myself. But I can tell you this. He will not end up as a 3-star guy. You can bet your bottom dollar on that. His name is starting to get out there. He's starting to get a lot of press. He's going to fly up this board. Good morning, Janet. Happy you're here. Same high school as Caleb Downs. I believe so off the top of my head. I believe it's Mill Creek. I'm sure Jor's going. Yeah, it's Mill Creek. Ha, I beat Jor. Ladies and gentlemen, that's like a badge for me now. If I can beat Jor to the information, Oh, because that guy's fast. He's so fast, he makes fast people look not fast. Metz and Johnson are next. Would love it. Would love it. Now, listen, they're not alone. There's a lot of names to watch, but those are two names that I am like, hey, going to be following them real closely. Going to be following them real closely. You also had Juju Lewis in attendance. Now, this is an interesting one. Juju Lewis is an interesting one. One of the things I love about Juju Lewis, I'm worthy fast. Hey, that's fast. One of the things I love about Juju Lewis is one, he has a long-standing relationship with Alabama. And yes, there are new faces there. But I would also argue if you're a quarterback, you have to be excited about these new faces, right? Like you may be, hey, I want to wait and see what it looks like, but you have to be excited about the new faces. That goes for any of the offensive players. You have got a coaching staff now that specializes in high octane offense. Jermaine Mims says, Ty, heard anything about Farrakhan? Yeah, very talented player out of Texas, South Texas, Houston area. And Bama has got some really great recruiting ties to the Houston area. Listen, Coach Shepard is infectious. Obviously, if you're a wide receiver, you're going to meet your wide receiver coach. And Coach Shepard, I've said this before, he's going to be an ace recruiter. He's going to be an ace recruiter. He already is turning out to be an ace recruiter. Him with Bama resources, oh, that's dangerous, man. That's dangerous. Honest to God, if the Pat McAfee show deal continues, I would love to see Shepard on there as well. He's a guy that I truly believe he needs a microphone in front of him at all times. There are certain people, and Jermaine, we'll get back to the question at hand in its entirety, but I do want to set it up with this right here. There are certain people out there in the industry, certain coaches out there in the industry that I actually think it would behoove them and the university to just have a microphone in front of them all the time. Why? Because they're awesome. Every time you hear Shepard talk, you want to run through a wall. He's infectious. He's energetic. He seems fantastic at establishing, maintaining, and developing these relationships. Look at Ryan Williams. Look at the crystal ball predictions coming in. Look at all the wide receivers turning their attention to Tuscaloosa. Caleb Cunningham, who looked like he was going to be staying in the state of Mississippi, said, I don't want to leave. So when we talk about Farrakhan, you have Shepard, but you also have Mo Linguist. Mo Linguist is very familiar with the Houston region, having coached at Texas A&M. And aside from that, Mo Linguist is familiar with Texas as a whole. Mo Linguist, born in Dallas, played in Waco, coached in Houston at Texas A&M, just outside of Houston. Listen, if you hear me say, like, I live in a city about 30 minutes north of Dallas, it's Dallas. It's Dallas. For those of you in North Texas, you know exactly what I mean. It's essentially Dallas. Ty, are you hip to Noah Mikael? Is that the linebacker out from the West Coast? I believe so, right? Yep. Yep. Out there from Laverne. Top 60 player in the nation. Top 10 linebacker. Very talented. And we already know that this coaching staff has got fantastic ties to the West Coast. Shane Brown says, Ty, Farrakhan goes to the Woodlands. How's the competition there? First and foremost, you want to talk about a nice area. A really nice area. The Woodlands. It's a very nice area. My wife and I went down there and stayed a night in the Woodlands whenever we were down there. Very nice area. But yes, Shane, you're going to have a ton of competition down there. Because the Woodlands is kind of a subsection of Houston as a whole. And I know, like, if you're from Texas, you get it. Like I said, Denton is a great example. I live in a town, Denton, Texas. Huge, right? Like, when I came here, it was much smaller. Now Denton County has a population just shy of 1 million. Just shy of 1 million. Okay? Denton is like like I said, 30 minutes north of Dallas, but it's one of those things where now if you're driving through Denton to get to Dallas, it's a continuous city. You do not stop a city from Denton. It's one giant city. It's concrete everywhere. It's buildings everywhere. It just continues. And the Woodlands is like that to Houston, right? Where it's just like it is it's on the outskirts of Houston, but it's Houston. So I say all that to let you know that Shane, yes, he's playing competition. Houston has got a lot of nice talent down there. A lot of nice talent down there. They get busy. DFW, Houston, West Texas, East Texas, yeah. A&M and stayed in the Woodlands, 100% Jarvis. The Woodlands is nice. It's a nice area. It's a very nice area. A very, very nice area. The infrastructure is nice. It's a nice area. They're going to have competition down there. They're going to have competition down there. No doubt about that. Lisa says, question for clowns hating on Coach Nick Saban for their moment of notoriety and phallus envy. Do you actually unequivocally support and advocate for pay for play with no limits, no rules, no regulations? And number two, how many young lives have you impacted by helping them achieve their potential and go on to earn multi-millions of dollars, changing the fortunes of them? 100%. Oh, Kevin, I think that she's arguing for us, right? Like, I think that she's arguing like, not she's not arguing those points to us. She's like arguing them for us, if that makes sense. Or at least that's how I'm interpreting it. Right? Especially because the way it starts. I think that she's just arguing, like I was, against all those people that were saying that. So Farrah Khan, very, very talented wide receiver. Would love to have him in the class. Now, someone else asked about, are you hip to Noah Mikhail? Yeah, very talented player, Larry. A really, really talented player. Very talented. And not only that, I mean, he stands, what is he, 6'3", 205? I mean, come on. Come on. Now, Bama was already on him with Robert Balla. But I like that they're going back. And he's a very versatile athlete. And we've talked about this before. If I on 24/7 Sports right now, I want to read Greg Biggins, who's a national recruiting analyst on 8/23/2022. This is what he wrote. Mikhail has a nice all-around game and shows the ability to play multiple positions at the next level. He has a linebacker frame, and that's where his upside is probably the highest, but plays safety, wide receiver, running back at the high school level. He's an impact player on both sides of the ball and plays with a nonstop motor and has a nice edge in his game. At 6'3", 205 pounds, he already has a college body right now and isn't even close to filling out or peaking physically. He runs well, shows natural football instincts, and brings a nice physical element to the football field. He's already a national recruit, and with his physical tools and off-field work ethic, it's an easy player to bet on being an immediate impact in college. Just coming off of the visit to Alabama, it's going to be very interesting to see where he goes. 100% hacker. That's the part that I don't get. All these, like, if you were to ask Heupel, I've seen so many Tennessee fans saying, like, oh, Saban say. If you ask Heupel, I guarantee Heupel would say the exact same thing. What was the name of the recruit who was offered by, he was super excited. I didn't see that, Wendy. I didn't see that. But yesterday, like I said, I was fury watching Twitter and people's reactions about Nick Saban. Why Coach Saban didn't like recruiting tall wide. I don't think that it's necessarily that he didn't like. I don't know, Shane. I just think it's different, stylistic differences. I just think it's stylistic differences. Everybody has their preference as to how they want their offense to be ran. If you're asking, and I saw someone earlier asking what I was drinking, and I know this is a comment 40 minutes too late, but here we are. What are we going to do? So we got two things on the docket today, ladies and gentlemen. We got the Celsius. Got to stay with the Celsius. Love that. I'm a caffeine addict, right? It is what it is. And also, because I'm trying to stop, I know y'all used to see I had the Diet Cokes. Well, I'm trying to stop that. I've been making a real conscious effort to stop the Diet Cokes, but I need that carbonation, right? So we got the Topo Chico. What a way to start your day. Celsius and Topo Chico. That carbonated water to keep me from drinking sodas. It's worked so far. It's worked so far. So what are you going to do? Everybody has to have their vice. In pill form, 0 calorie. See, that'd probably be the smart thing to do, Moon. I'm starting, the older I get, the more like health conscious I'm getting, like severely health conscious, to the point where I like try and every day look at how much sugar I'm intaking, and I've tried to cut almost as much sugar as I possibly can out of my diet, to where now if I'm getting sugar, I only want it to be from like natural sources like honey, um berries, stuff like that. And you get 100 for 7. Yeah, see, that's the move, Moon Rocker. You're definitely beating me there. That's the move. I need to switch that. Ty, is there any tight end targets to watch for? I would imagine so, no doubt about it. No doubt about it. Check out I'll check that out, Paul. I'll check that out. Thank you very much for the recommendation. I'll give that a go. Lynn says you have to understand integrity to understand what Nick Saban was talking about today. I can see why so many Auburn, Tennessee, and Georgia fans are struggling to comprehend his message. Lynn, I'll one up you. I don't think it's that they're struggling to comprehend the message. I think they're being purposefully disingenuous. And that's what makes me even more upset. If people were really struggling to comprehend what he could say, if this was a comprehension issue, I wouldn't be as upset about this. Because I could be like, okay, maybe it's just it didn't get packaged in a manner that like was super digestible to some people. I could understand that. I could live with that. In my opinion, Lynn, the reason why this is so infuriating, I think people are being purposefully disingenuous. I think people are purposefully misrepresenting the point so that way they can have their moment of fame. That's why they're all running to Twitter and attaching their faces to it so they can have their moment of fame and notoriety. Haven't drank a soda in 6 months. Good for you, man. Good for you. Yeah, I haven't had one. It's been a week since my last Diet Coke, but I will say I've really cut down on them, and I don't even crave them anymore. I don't even want them. This right here, it's the carbonated water that's really helped me. Water's the only way. I know, Brian. I really do need to stop the Celsiuses as well, and I probably should just do the caffeine pill, like Moon Rock is saying. That'd be much healthier for me. But we're getting there, right? And y'all got to remember, I'm a Texan, right? I'm a Texan. I was hooked on Dr. Pepper. That's a religion down here, and I was hooked on it. Trying to find you. Yeah, man. It's at ATS Sports Show. I'll actually link that in the chat. That way anybody who wants to follow. And I'm a pretty boring follow on Twitter. I'm not going to lie. I think those of you that do follow me on Twitter, you probably realized a long time ago, I'm not moved by all of the drama, all of the that doesn't move me. I'm moved by football. I want to talk football, or I want to have principled conversations that lead to something. I'm not moved by any of the extra stuff. So that's my Twitter handle. And my email is first and last name, Caleb, tyhayes.2012@gmail.com. I haven't drank soda in about 20 years. Good for you, Jimmy. Good for you. Or learn to drink coffee black. That's what I really should do, WT. But I actually have a little bit of a vendetta against coffee. And if the undefeated, would you like to hear my vendetta against coffee? Because it's your show. I don't want to take time away from not talking, right, about some of these Bama topics, but we've been going for. I have a little bit of a vendetta against coffee, and it's nothing that coffee did. Right? Sure. Matcha green tea is great for you. Someone told me that. Someone told me that. Actually, it was another content creator. Texas Homer. Love that guy. Love that guy. Is a Texas Longhorns content creator. Actually lived right down the street from me. Unbelievable in terms of the content he presents. Every time Bama and Texas would play each other, Texas Homer and I would be on the phone for 3 hours going through every single position. Yeah, great guy. Love that guy. But he recommended matcha. So here's my beef with coffee. When I was growing up, for those of you that know, I lived on a horse ranch, right? And to get out of the ranch, we had a quarter-mile driveway. It was a dirt road. Well, my mom is notoriously late to everything. Love the woman. She's a saint. She's late to everything. If she was a patron saint, it would be the patron saint of lost time, right? That would be her. I love you, Mom. But every day we'd get in there, and I went to, when I first, when I was in school before high school, I was at a private school because my parents weren't from Texas. My dad's from upstate New York. My mom's from Virginia. They both moved to Texas for the horse industry, right? My dad has a wild story. So we'd be going down the driveway for my mom taking me to school, and she would be pedal to the metal, flying down this dirt driveway to try and get me into town to school on time. Well, she is a coffee addict, ladies and gentlemen. When I say coffee addict, I mean, when I was young, we're talking 8 cups a day out there on that ranch, just doing, coffee, right? 8 cups a day. But as we're driving down the driveway, she drives like this. Well, I'm in the front seat, and every bump she's hitting, coffee is just going all over me. Well, I went to a private school, so I had a uniform every day. I had to wear a white shirt or a blue shirt and either blue pants or khakis. But anytime I'd show up in a white shirt, I had coffee stains all over me. I smelled like coffee because my mom would be going down the driveway just blasting me all over with coffee. Hot coffee. I'd have red marks all over me. And so to this day, I love the smell of coffee, but I have a personal vendetta against coffee. And the other thing, WT, because you are right, black coffee is the way to go. Black coffee is the way to go. The other thing is I don't particularly care for black coffee right now. And I know that if I was to drink it, I would have to put in, the sweeteners. And I don't want to put in a bunch of artificial sugars and sweeteners and all of that. Because at that point, I'm drinking, something that has more of that than a Celsius or a Monster or any of those things. And if I drink 2 or 3 of those, you get what I mean? Like, it's just a real slippery slope. If I enjoyed black coffee, that's where we'd be. That's where we'd be. But I also have that little personal vendetta against coffee. I had it spilled all over me for years of my life. So you bet your sweet bippy, whenever I got my car, there was a no coffee rule for a while. No. On principle, but it actually never bothered me. No, listen, I actually love the smell of coffee. Anytime I go back to Virginia to visit my mom now, because my mom's in Virginia. My mom's in Virginia. Anytime I go back to visit her, like I said, she's still a coffee addict, but has gotten much better. The house smells like coffee, and it's great. The house always smells like coffee. Her house in Virginia does, and it's amazing. I love it. I love the smell. That's my biggest thing, WT. One is the experiences I had with getting hot coffee spilled all over me every day of my life from kindergarten to 8th grade. Right? Every day. And then 2, I'm trying to cut out as much sugar as I can. And I know if I'm going to drink coffee, like, I'm going to have to put stuff in it. And sugar is, I don't know. I'm just trying to be more health conscious. That's my coffee story. There it is. There it is. Tried Death Wish coffee 5 times. I actually did, LA. I actually did try Death Wish. It's funny you say that. I had a cup of that. Wasn't bad. It wasn't bad. I must admit, I did try it and it was not bad. My coffer sure is good this morning. I'm glad, man. I'm glad. Just don't spill it on anybody. But they'd be like me, showing up to school every day. I got the white shirt tucked in. I'm at my Catholic school, just a giant coffee stain across my chest. What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? This conversation has gone off the rails. It was never on the rails, Kevin. It was never on the rails. We got off the rails from the second we started, but that's what we're here for. So now comes my last segment, and this is the part wherever I stated earlier, I need your help. I want to answer this though. Lynn says, Ty, did you find it as funny that it was Texas Senator Ted Cruz leading the NIL roundtable and pay to play, considering that Texas has passed laws and has the most money? I love Cruz, but funny. Yeah. Listen, it was just listen. To me, I don't even care who the messenger is at this point. That's the thing. I don't care, right? I don't care who the senator is. We just need it fixed. You know what I mean? But I do find that a little bit funny, Lynn, right? Like what we're talking about, Texas having the most money. There is a little bit of an irony in that. No doubt about that. No doubt about that. Original Four Locos would wake you up and get you wasted at the same time. I remember when I got stories for y'all. One of these days, we're just going to have to go into story hour for me because I got stories that y'all wouldn't believe. I got stories that I played chicken with a cottonmouth once. And I also, whenever we fraternity life, I watched someone beer bong a Four Loco, and I thought they were going to die. I thought that was the end of my man's. He beer bonged that Four Loco. Smook, you already know, man. You come in whenever you want. Because I think this next segment would be a lot of fun to do as a duo. Yeah. You never have to ask if you are following after me. Just hop in here. You know how I am.
Nah, I be trying to load the graphic the right way, man. My bad.
No,
I keep forgetting that it don't have a preview setting. That's why I don't like StreamYard. You know, on OBS, you can create a whole new scene in the background before it's projected. You can see the preview of it, and then you can adjust it, all this stuff. That's why I'm glad we'll be upgrading here soon. What's up?
Well, see, here's the thing. I'm glad that, oh, geez. He hit the transfer portal. My God. He just vanished. He's like Harry Houdini, ladies and gentlemen. That's Smook's first trick of the day, is a disappearing act. Yeah. Listen, we're versatile over here.
Booyah.
It's a little bit of a magic show. It's a sports show. We're versatile. We are nothing if not men of the people.
Man, hey, listen. The people, we do this for the people. We get the people what they want. You want to see Smook come back, reappear? I can do it. It's easy.
I need a little like a graphic of smoke going all over the place. That way it's like
whenever you go, just have a graphic of smoke every time you get up out of here.
No, so here's my last segment, Coach. And I said this to start the show off. I do need everybody in the undefeated. I need your help right now. Mm-hmm. And this is why I'm really glad you came in here. I was hoping that the timing would work, that you would be in here for this last segment, and it worked. So I'm very, very happy about this. My last segment was the rooms you're most excited about. Okay. Now I need to hear from the undefeated what rooms you're most excited about. But Coach, what about you, man? Like, what room are you most excited about now that spring is here? What are you looking forward to?
So I'm not going to be biased today because I know everybody in the chat. He gonna talk about wide receivers. No, I'm actually excited about the secondary, man, the DBs. And if I had to pick a certain spot, it's going to be the safety position, man. There's a lot of talent in our safety room, man. I mean, from Dre Kirkpatrick and Red Morgan being slid over into that room, that just made it more fun because you already had young Peyton. You know what I'm saying? like we're probably going to this year we're going to get a glimpse of our future as far as the Husky Rover and the free safety in this new Jor, go to bed. As a matter of fact, you talking about the bedroom. Take your butt back to bed because we're not acting up. Today is Wednesday. We got 2 more days till Friday. Y'all can't wait till Friday to start acting up. I
gotta be careful with Jor's comments, man. I'll be in the middle of his train of thought and see a Jor comment and I start laughing.
Every time, man. Every time. That's what, man. You know, can we?
Oh, where's the smoke? Where's the smoke? Oh man, I don't have the resources. I was gonna hit the smoke. I don't have the resources. I want everybody to imagine the smoke billowing out.
Yeah.
And now he's back.
I had to come back and make sure you. Nah, man. What's happening? You know why that's happening? So I have um two different entries open, I guess, and so this one keeps trying to read like it's that one, but it's not that one. Be you, sir. But yeah, we should be good now. I had to separate them. They were acting funny. But yeah, man, Joy, you a trip. Transfer portal smashed. Nah, I won't transfer. I just had to go down to Miami to get myself together real quick. I'm back. Listen. Yeah, DBs though. DBs free safety room. That's probably the one I'm most excited about. Red Morgan has been making a lot of buzz. You know, I knew he was ready to play, man. It was just all about the physicality standpoint. I mean, the anatomical standpoint. You know, getting some weight on the young man, so he can play SEC ball. Because you're not gonna play DB at 165 at the college level. I don't care where that is. Like, you might get away with it in the SOCOM or something like that. You know what I'm saying? But you're not in the SEC, man, and not be at that position. The Husky or the Rover. I mean, running backs and tight ends and everybody be bouncing off you. Linemen will be picking you up with one arm and blocking your teammate with another. So definitely, but he is in the weight room, man. He is on that nutrition. He has his diet that he's doing. So, and already seeing early in spring break, a lot of these guys are getting working, and a lot of DBs videos about to start surfing, y'all. And y'all gonna see these boys out here trying to get it. So I'm excited about the safeties.
I love that answer. We got a few different answers. We got a lot of defensive back, and I think that's a great answer. We have some D line, running back. I don't see much on the offensive line. I think that's one that I'm really looking forward to. Before I leave you, though, I'm going to give you mine, and that's running back. And the reason is, Coach, is because I think it's the often forgot about aspect of Coach Kalen DeBoer's offenses. We talk so much about Rome Odunze. We talk about Jalen McMillan. We talk about Polk. We talk about Penix. We don't talk that Dylan Johnson had 1,200 yards.
That's why I keep telling folks, if Dylan had 12, what make you – come on, man.
And he played those two playoff games on one leg. Or he played the playoff game and the national championship on one leg.
And then was battling a whole wrist injury, ends up having to have wrist surgery at the end of the year. Been playing with a messed up wrist. You talking about this guy only had 2 fumbles this year? 2 fumbles that were counted. I think only one of them was really on him. The second one, the first one was an exchange. So it wasn't really on him. It was, so I mean, ball security, like we talking about Justice Haynes. I think he was one of the articles on him that was coming into his freshman year was 0 fumbles his senior year. 0 fumbles. And he had 400 plus carries.
Yeah.
Come on, man. Yeah.
So that's for me. It's that running back room. Caleb says, I'm sorry, but Mbakwe looks way different in Bama uniform than he did in high school. He's bigger than I thought he was.
Caleb, let me tell you about my boy. So
he's bigger than I thought he was.
That was probably the first clip I got when I got on the field, man. Like, because the DBs were right there when they had the media viewing period. And so I get out there and I'm trying to figure, I'm just looking around. And Sab was number 9 at Michigan. So I'm like, that ain't Sab. Sab ain't got no hair. I'm trying to figure out what player, freshman. And I just so happen to have that graphic up that we had just made about players and their numbers. I said, ain't no way that's Mbakwe. Ain't no way.
Yeah, I must be wrong. Yeah.
That dude is, I'm talking about put on some gains, man. Some serious gains. He look every bit of 205, but they saying he like hovering around 190, 195. But he look every bit of he look running back size, man. Young running back, young college ready. He looked Justice Haynes size when Justice Haynes came to Alabama last year. That's how Mbakwe look right now. He is thick, y'all. Thick. I'm talking about my boy done put on some good sweet potatoes every meal. I guarantee it. That's the only time you get. That's the only way you get that way. Get you a good steak every other meal. Sweet potatoes. Get your protein shakes. Oh my God, that boy on it.
He's looking ready. Ladies and gentlemen, I'll tell you what else you need to be ready for. Starting right now, the Smook Scoop coming towards you. And you got a lot to talk about. You see that docket right there. It's quiet.
Yeah.
What's on the radar? Under the radar. So you're going to be talking about everything. Can't wait to see it. Everybody, thank you for the time. It was an absolutely great morning. I got to rant and rave about Saban on Capitol Hill for about an hour, Coach. It was,
I'll be
was a
giving my
boomer.
little take to start it off, man, and then we'll talk about why it's quiet. Yeah, I'm
I was
definitely
a boomer, just shaking my fist at the sky.
They crazy right now, man. Yeah,
Tragic.
man. These folks crazy.
Until next time, I will see you all tomorrow. Coach, as always, kill it. Thank you for coming in here, chopping it up with me. Had a great time, as always. Look forward to doing it again tomorrow. Undefeated, I will see you once again tomorrow. And until next time, as always, roll Tide.
Roll Tide, brother. Hey, shouts out to my brother, Ty Hayes, man, for coming in with the heat. Always popping it off. I kind of like him at lead off, man. I think that might end up being a new banger spot for my bro, man. Because you think about it, you have the lead off with Ty Hayes, right? And then you have me come in the middle, and then you have Kyle coming up after me, right? Like, especially if Kyle does phone call segments around that time, closer to 10 a.m., everybody's up. Everybody's been watching for a little bit. When it's time for the call-ins, now you get to call in and you get to talk trash about Coach Smook and his segment and how wrong I am. And then next week you show up and be like, oh, dang, he knew what he was talking about. And he'd be rubbernecking in the chat. I'm just playing. I ain't gonna get on y'all today. What's good, chat? How y'all feeling? Y'all know what time it is, man. Y'all already know what time it is. It's time to crank this thing up. We got to turn this music up just a little bit. Just a little bit. Hey, just a little bit. I like the music turned up. I like to keep it hype. I'm trying to see what y'all trying to do on tonight. We about to get it crunk. We about to turn it up. I'm like, it's up. Say roll tide, yeah. What's up, Nicole? What's good, man? What's up, Nick? In the building. Nicole in the building. Larry in the building. Train wreck. Look, he come with the heat. Come with the heat. Smook scoop with the smook troop. Yeah, boy, y'all the troop. We the smook with the duke and the duke. You know what I'm saying? Making it do what it do. What's up, Joseph? How y'all feeling? What's up, Moon Rocket? My mic don't want to act right this morning. What's good, Rocket Town? How you feeling? Brian in the building. My brother Bino in the building. Auntie Janet in the building. Davin Jones, what's good, family? Kev, what's good? Roll Tide, my brother. Lynn, how you feeling, brother? D, what's good, man? Bama swag in the building. Yes, sir. Hey, D, if you know who make custom controller things like that, I need a PS5 one. Hit me up, coachsmook@gmail.com. Let me know if you got somebody that do those, man, that do the custom stuff. PS5, Xbox, all of them. I need custom covers, man. Appreciate that. What's up, Cook? What's up, man? Y'all hype. Kevin, not sure, guys, a monster. Oh, what we talking about? Crest Boy, what's good, my guy? Yes, sir. What's good, sweet home? What's good, Caleb? Everybody in here. Speed. What's good? Speed. What's good, my guy? What's good? Glenn, how you feeling today, family? Maddie P, what's good? What's good? Good morning, Coach Mook, along with my fellow dudes and dudettes of the undefeated. Maddie come through with the dudes and the dudettes. Yeah, totally, dude. Totally, dude. Totally, dude. I'm hyped this morning, y'all. I slept an extra 30 minutes. I ain't gonna lie. Felt good. Yum Tide. Good morning, Tide. I'm a man in the building. Antoine, what's good? He says, smooth. Hey, Antoine, my undefeated stuff is supposed to be at my folks' house this morning. So where I'm staying at now, man, it ain't even got no shipping address. I had to ship it to Fort Mitchell so I could get it. Shoot, Mama said, it's gonna be here Friday. I said, yes, ma'am. Don't be wearing my stuff, please. She probably got her own, though. My mama that type. She'll buy everybody some gear to support her son, man. I love my mama. I heard she was in here earlier. She called me. She said, who is that on there on the screen and gave me a shout out? I said, Ty up right now, mama. She said, I knew that wasn't Kyle. I said, Mom, that's my boy Ty. She was like, oh, I just did my first time seeing him. I said, Mom. But she said, he good. He good. Uh-oh. Ooh. I just got a text. Well, Auburn fans are about to hate us. Let me see something, y'all. Y'all get to see Coach Smook work real quick. So I just got a text, right? I'm gonna pause this. This is gonna I'm gonna turn the music down. This is gonna take us all the way away from what we do normally. I got to let y'all see how Coach Smoot works. So I just got a text about a recruit that's potentially interested in Alabama, right? Yeah. Yeah. Hey, hold on, y'all. And then Miles McVay just hit me up, too. Miles McVay just hit me up. Oh, snap. Yes, offensive lineman, currently at Alabama. Miles McVay just hit me up. So if he want to pull up, we're going to let Miles pull up today, right? Why not? If Miles want to pull up on his big bro, you know what I'm saying? He could pull up. He could pull up. Now, let me go check on this other stuff, y'all. See, this is what happens with Coach Smoot. Coach Smoot gets in. See, Auburn, y'all shouldn't have started talking so much, because what's happening now is all because of them negative seeds you sown, and now you're reaping them. You thought Bama was down, and now you got to come back, circle back, and watch us take everything that you thought you had. The devil thought he had it, oh, but we run. We kept on running, and we turned back around and said, devil can't keep me, because, you know, Auburn is the devil. And we had to let them know that we still the kings of college football. Hallelujah. I just had to get that out, y'all. Had to get that out. Y'all felt that? Y'all, Auburn is about to be sick. All right. Let me go look this young man up, because listen, yeah, Starburst is cool. Anybody in the chat like Starburst? Because Alabama might be adding a Starburst to the roster, to this recruiting class. Yeah. 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 So I've just got word, and I'm waiting for confirmation, because I always go to the source, right? I use my source to get to the source, right? I just got confirmation that, or not confirmation, I just got word that Caleb Falk is leaning heavy towards Alabama. This is the young man, I think he just decommitted from Auburn, I believe, right? Somebody look him up. Starburst your fave, Moon Rocker? Starburst your fave? Woo! The red and pink ones, hey, we about to get we about to have one on the roster. He gonna be in that crimson. Y'all like crimson Starburst? He gonna be in that crimson. Caleb Starburst Falk. I can't, boy. Listen. And I'm not sure if this young man. I'm not sure if this young man is related to. He's not decommitted from Auburn. He's committed to Auburn right now, but he's planned a. Okay, I'll be in. Okay. Oh. He's not easy to. He's not hard to talk to. I like this young man. I'll be in Alabama in July, maybe June too. Okay. He ended up decommitting. Okay. Look, that's my type of language. That's what I like to hear. And I don't like to hear when people be trying to call me when I'm on my segment. They be messing up my junk. But listen, chat. Caleb Falk definitely starting to make a trend towards Alabama. Hey, and you know why? It's the DeBoer effect, man. It's the DeBoer effect. So before we jump into all of my segments, I do have to give my little take on Coach Saban at Capitol Hill. You know, and everybody, y'all have heard it. Y'all heard all the technical things surrounding it. Y'all have heard all of the what they call them, professional takes, or the articulated takes, right? But I'm gonna give it to y'all straight raw, like pause. I'm gonna give it to y'all the real way. You get what I'm saying? I'm gonna give it to y'all the real way. Hold on, y'all know what time it is. Good. All right, so listen. Everybody that thinks Coach Saban is trying to kill college football or kill NIL. Coach Sean and Coach Jay, well, really Coach Sean, because, he was just spitting yesterday. Coach Sean came on and said it exactly what he is trying to kill. Coach Saban is trying to kill pay for play, not because he couldn't do it, not because Alabama isn't capable of doing it, but because it would take away the full competitive advantage or the equality and competitiveness that the game of college football entails. Let's think about it right now. If Alabama right now with no parameters around NIL, with no parameters around transfer portal, with all of that, is still able to remain a top 4 team when it comes to the college football rankings and playoffs and all of this, Nate, all of this. Alabama hasn't missed the playoffs 2 years in a row since they began. They have not. We have not missed the postseason playoffs. We have never missed the playoffs 2 seasons straight since the playoffs that came about. Now, NIL got approved in 2020, I believe, right? Somebody fact check me. NIL got approved in 2020. Coach Saban and Alabama win a national championship in 2020. Turn around and go and play in another national championship in 21 and lose, right, to Georgia. We missed the playoffs in 22, and then we're back in the playoffs in 23. Now, this is during the time where NIL is rapid, right? Recruiting. We still had top 5 recruiting classes all of those years. As a matter of fact, this past recruiting class was number 2. During NIL, right? During Coach Saban's retirement phase, where a lot of players admitted to leaving because Coach Saban retired. So you're trying to tell me that if Alabama has no restraints and no bounds to what access, who they can access because they could throw money at a player, why does college football feel like that we are worried about that as Alabama? When we've already proven that we don't take hits regardless of the circumstances. The brand, this right here, this script A speaks for itself. Shout out to Aaron Hodges, Associate Director of Recruiting at Alabama, right? I think he's the Associate Director of Player Personnel, this Associate Director of Recruiting. Me and him share the same title. That was for all the haters, man, that be in here rubbing neck and get mad because of a title on somebody's Twitter. Shout out to y'all, man. I appreciate that. But yeah, but listen, that would cop me, though. But Aaron Hodges made a post yesterday. He was in Texas. I don't know what for, just doing what he do. And he made a tweet yesterday. And as a matter of fact, I'll go pull it up. Right now. Let's get a screenshot of this. Let's get a screenshot of this because it's so funny how people they seem to forget, man, that like this is not like foreign territory for Alabama. You get what I'm saying? This isn't foreign territory. And once again, I appreciate everybody for tuning in. Make sure you drop your likes as you come in on the stream, guys. Looking like we're sitting right at, let me get over here. Real quick. Looks like we're sitting at 109 likes, man. Making sure y'all running them likes up. We got 151 in the chat, man. Let's get these likes up, run the likes up for your boy, for the channel, man. We appreciate y'all. And before I continue into this segment, y'all almost let me forget. Let's show some love to our sponsors, man. We got sponsors that's been supporting this channel and doing what they do to help us continue to grow. So let's give them their respect. Let's show them some love because they are supporting us daily and helping us gain some growth. Shout out to Resident City in Ocean City, Maryland. Shout out to roadshop.com, the CBD store. And then shout out to Demetrius Maynard of the Maynard Group, Big Money Meat, my big brother, fan funder, and also a sponsor of the channel. Hey, take a moment. Here's our sponsors.
Special thanks to our sponsor, Residence in Ocean City, Maryland. Guests can book at residenceinOC.com. Use the promo code LPR for special Bama football pricing up to 20% off. Also, go to therogueshop.com. Use the promo code Bama. You get legal CBD. For me, personally, I like the topical oil. You know how intense my workouts are, right? So I like the topical oil. I like to rub that on my back, whatever, after those cinder blocks. So go to their website, cruise down, look through their website, and definitely check out rogueshop.com. And like I said, I like the topical. Again, the promo code is Bama. Also, think about becoming a fan funder right here on Bama Football on YouTube. Become a part of the Undefeated as low as $2.99 a month. That's 10 cents a day. How do you do this? Make sure you're logged into your account. This is on a computer. You can also do this on your phone and look for the tab that says membership. Once you click membership, you can see different options. You can see an upgrade button right there to the right if you want to go through the different levels. We have fan funder videos from the staff right here at Bama Football on YouTube. Very easy to navigate. Let us know if you have questions inside the comment box when trying to upgrade or renew your fan funder membership right here on Bama Football on YouTube. And of course, if you want to rock that undefeated gear, check out our merch store located at the bottom of the videos. We appreciate Patriot Life, Cynthia, Antoine, Caitlin, and to everybody else that supports us right here on Bama Football on YouTube.
Yes, sir. Y'all know what time it is, man. It's time to get into this thing. Let's do it, y'all. Let's do it. So I found the tweet. I think I found the tweet from yesterday from Aaron Hodges, and he is the Associate Director of Player Personnel. He's the one that's talking to the recruits, really getting them interested. So here goes this shot. Here you go. Screenshot alert. Here we go. Screenshot alert. Hey. Here you go. So this is what I was talking about here. So this is the Associate Director of Player Personnel up at Alabama, at the University of Alabama for the Crimson Tide, right? He says, at a Starbucks in Aledo, Texas, there's a gentleman here with a golden retriever and an Alabama visor on, right? He says, simply rolled down the window and gave him a Roll Tide. He looked up, smiled, and said, a Roll Tide. And this is the part that really got me, and it's true. This is 100% true, because I remember being in Texas. I remember being in Washington, Colorado, Virginia. Even when I was in Virginia, very far and few in Virginia, but the Script A is one of the most recognized college brands partner with us. This is a powerful message from a staff member at the University of Alabama who is very active on Twitter. Very active. You look at Coach, you look at Mr. Hodges following, man, on Twitter, 34K. And there's so many recruits that follow him and like his swag, his social swag. Like, that's where Alabama is really changing the game. They are really changing the game. I need to follow this guy, Dante Oliver. Yes, sir. Going to follow you, sir. He does something that I'm interested in. I learned. Brody Smoot, my brother, is in the building, y'all. Listen. I don't know if y'all been picking up what we've been putting down, but guess what? The smooth way is on the way. I'm telling y'all, the smooth way is on the way. The smooth way. I'm telling y'all, it's about to be crazy, man. The smooth way is on the way. Just know y'all gonna be hearing a lot about that soon, man. We got some things popping, man. Got some things popping. What's up, Brody? Welcome to the chat. What's good, Megan? I just seen your comment. James, how you feeling, my boy? Yeah, man. Is Delta 9 legal in Alabama? I don't know, man. You know what? Y'all want me to be honest? I ain't even tried to look for nothing since I've been down here, man. I've really been on this clean tip, trying to make things, change the lifestyle up. I really been water, juices, food. Like, that's all I really, that's all I've really been. Hey, Auntie Janet Kai likes to rub it on his back, right? Yeah, look. But listen, back to the Capitol Hills situation, y'all. College football needs to recognize that Alabama doesn't necessarily need NIL to compete. You got, especially for the first, let's say, like this next 5 or 6 years, like most of these kids who watch college football are naturally Alabama fans, because you don't have a lot of hometown, like you born in Oklahoma, you're going to be an Oklahoma fan, because now social media, you get, and so many different outlets, you get access to every team as a 6-year-old. So your mom and dad might be a Texas fan, but you might end up being an Oregon fan, because guess what? When you pull up YouTube on your tablet as a 4-year-old or 5-year-old, you're not seeing many Oklahoma highlights. You're seeing a lot of Oregon highlights because of how their media department puts out their highlights. You might see more Alabama than anything because everybody talks about Alabama. You got cartoons that talk about Alabama. So yeah, man. But the thing is, people that are mistaken, they think Alabama doesn't have NIL money. It's not that we don't have it. Why use it? Why spend 1 point or 4 point something million dollars, like what it was it 4 point something million? I think it was 13 million Ohio State spent. But one player is supposed to be getting like 4 something, right? For a college student who has the ability to leave at the end of a year or before the season starts and not be accountable. It's well within his rights. Why would we do that? Why would we want to be at that? Like, how are we affecting society? You got people out here in these communities that surrounding these universities that are missing meals, that are homeless. I live right up here in Tuscaloosa. Right now I'm living probably like 6 miles away from the campus. It don't take you long to get outside of the campus and to see somebody pushing a cart, a homeless person, or somebody struggling. Like, it don't take you long to get to a certain part of the city where it's not as safe as the others. Like, why do we have this much time to give to one player and his football decision to go and do something that he chose to do for fun, and he's pushing for, because at the end of the day, it's a sport. What's a sport? They've made it into a business, but it's a sport. You're supposed to be having fun doing this. Why are we giving these young men all this power, all this control? 17, 18-year-old young men. Not all of them are mature. And we're enabling them to make the wrong decisions. We're not teaching them to make quality decisions, sound decisions, because of what it can do for your future and the longevity of your career. We're throwing money in front of them and saying, hey, you come here, this is what you get. Not you come here, we're going to get you ready for the NFL. And look at it. It's dropping off for people. Alabama's NFL send-off rate has not dropped off in the past 4 years. Has not dropped off. We've had a first rounder, at least 3 first rounders every year since NIL. So we're not dropping off. The sad thing is, if they don't put any parameters on it, you're giving Alabama the green light to just shut college football down. You'll have 3 or 4 other universities that can really get out there and get collectives and compete with Alabama when it comes to throwing a bag at a player. Because everybody think the state of Alabama don't really got no money. It ain't about the state of Alabama. You know how many businesses and connections and powerful people Nick Saban know that wouldn't mind supporting? Man, listen, the proof is in the pudding. The proof is in the pudding, man. Look at what was happening on Capitol Hill yesterday. We got my good buddy Nick Saban, one of the people on the board on the little thing. We got my good buddy Nick Saban. Nick, how you feel about it, friend? How you feel about it, buddy? Yeah, man. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. What y'all talking about? Y'all talking about that CBD? Auntie Janet, what you talking about? It's good for God clothes. Auntie, you acting up, Auntie. Y'all don't be hyping Auntie up. Y'all know she be acting up, man. Look, y'all be hyping Auntie up, she gonna act up. Oh yeah, listen, Kevin, people don't understand, man. That's why this whole new age of thinking, I'm all about it, man. I'm all about it. I'm all about evolving, right? Not keeping up with the times, but keeping up with the right things. Oh yeah, Bino, I see you sent me that. You late. We've been talking about this dude decommitting. When Auburn lost their defensive line coach, they was going to lose a lot more recruits. We saw that quick. But yeah, man, that's my whole little take. I don't care to keep expounding on that whole Capitol Hill thing, because I find it funny how other fan bases can sit here and act like they do not understand that Alabama has this right here, man. This demands respect when you go into gas stations in other states, right? Case in point, I'm in Buc-ee's in Tennessee with my Alabama hoodie on and my Alabama hat. And them folks, moving out my way, acting like I got some type of like disease. Nah, it ain't that. They fear us, man. They fear us. Nick Saban has built a dynasty. He's built an empire, and it's going to take a lot to tear it down. And this part of college football might do it. It might do it because now we're not going to be able to be fans of players anymore. We'll basically be Alabama fans, right? And we'll be like the NFL. You'll end up following players now. Like right now, one of my favorite players in his recruiting class is Travis Smith Jr. Travis Smith signs with Alabama, right? He gets his NIL. Let's say there's no parameters. He gets his NIL. Let's say they talking to Trav. They give him Trav $250,000 before he even touched the field, right? $250,000. New car, get the Hellcat, and Trav family well off. I know personally. Senior worked hard to set up his family. He actually part of my motivation to continue to do what I'm doing. You know, great mentor, great big brother. He worked hard, but let's say Trav get that $250K, right? He come to Alabama. Something happened. He don't get to see the field. He don't start in front of Caleb. You know what I'm saying? Caleb is his big bro. He don't get to play in front of him as much. He don't get as much. And Trav just like, man, you know what? Coach Prime over at Colorado, $450K plus I'm gonna be the starter. I'm gonna finish this season, but I'm gonna go ahead and start. And guess what? Guess what Coach Prime and those guys are able to do right now because of the lack of control over it. They're able to text Trav after every game, man. If you was at Colorado, at least 15 targets. At least 15 targets. You're gonna test the ball at least 10 times. You're gonna have 10 opportunities. They can do that. Caden Proctor showed us that they can do that. Other schools can do that. Oh, I had a bad game and they was hitting me up, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, come on, man. So let's say Trav goes to Colorado, right? And something happens. It just doesn't work out as planned. So Trav also has the opportunity now with another $140K or whatever they gave him up front. He gets to go to somewhere else and not be held accountable. And look how much money has been thrown at Trav. Because, you know, once he leaves Bama, he got to get that car back. And the only way that he going to get that car back is if Coach Prime can give him another car. And I'm not saying this is what Trav is doing by no means. I'm just using him because that's my favorite player. And to get to my point is me being a fan of Travis Smith Jr., guess what happens? I no longer care to follow Alabama, just Alabama football. Now I'm following Colorado's outlets to see what's going on with Trav. Right now I'm following, you know, the next school where Trav might go. You know, that's what this is becoming. And if that's what you want for college football to be, keep crying, talking about Coach Saban is trying to destroy. I'm sorry, y'all. He's not just trying to destroy college football. He's not trying to destroy NIL. He's actually for NIL. NIL is name, image, and likeness. Not come play for me for $150,000 this year. That is not NIL. NIL is come to Alabama and prove yourself, get on the field. And when you get on the field, whoever sees you, if Coke, Gatorade, Dr. Pepper, whoever sees you, and they marketing team likes what you're doing on the field at Alabama, now you make money off of it. But when you come here, guess what? You're only going to get $4,000 a month. You're only going to get $4,000 a month. You're a college student with a scholarship. You're only going to get $4,000 a month. That's what the collective should be used for. It should be broken down. Everybody should have a base pay, right? Everybody should have base pay, and everybody should have opportunities to create value through the university. So nobody should be contacting a player directly. All agents and representatives should report through the university. There should be a personnel at the university that's over every player representation that's at the university, meaning your representation reports to us as the employer, you know, because that's what you're ending up making these young men. You're making them into employees. Your representation should report to us, keep us in the loop, and make sure that everything that they're getting is being ran through us so that we can account for it, for everything that you get what I'm saying? So this is the reaction to it. Like, we have to understand that Alabama would not lose a step. We will be in perfect position to just shut everything down. What's up, Kyle? You coming on right now? All right. Let me get you on this thing, brother. You want to do the side-by-side? We split screen like this? Bet. Everybody, my big bro, the man of the channel, the creator of the channel himself, the dog in this business, the man that gets it done no matter what. Solo for the dolo for a while, but now he got a squad and they all barking behind him because he making it do what it do. My guy, Mr. Kyle Henderson.
Yo, what's up? What's up, fam? How's everybody doing? Yeah, crowd goes crazy. Honestly, I text Smook just a
I
little bit
seen
ago,
it.
and I was like, man, just end it, because I'm just it's a good segment. I love like the back to back. Plus I'm on spring break, and the weather is like these last 2 days have been really good down here.
You look like you've been sleeping good, bro.
I have been, man. Yeah, so it's been good. We got out yesterday, kind of did our thing, and it was amazing just to kind of see. And what's up, Undefeated? I see everybody inside the comment box. It was amazing to see kind of the reaction and everybody's thoughts to Coach Saban up on Capitol Hill yesterday, right? And I was thinking about this as well. It's like it's such a landmark day in college football, because what I think is going to happen, and we can get to that later, but I think the college football world changed. And it took a big step to a different direction outside of the NCAA yesterday. I can foresee some sort of, super conference to come. There's no rules, there's no parameters. And a lot of people who were not Alabama fans were kind of attacking Saban. Whatever the case was, I just felt it was. I'm thinking about it. It's like college football is on Capitol Hill, and I get it. There's a million other things that Congress can do or whatever, but that's where it's at, and that's how broken it is. So kind of just having like a day to think back on it was pretty amazing. What's up, everybody? I see you guys inside the comment box. Antoine, Kimberly, Caleb, I got your text as well, or your email. Cynthia, what's going on? To everybody in the Undefeated, I appreciate you guys being here.
Listen, man, it's funny because like everything that, and see, I feel like Coach Saban is like the prophet of college football.
Mm-hmm.
Get what I'm saying? Like he was sent to kind of like try to help and regulate this thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think it's going to be much backlash on what this committee comes up with.
Mm-hmm.
I think, like you said, it's going to be a power conference, or I'm thinking maybe things really take a turn and get regulated fast. And you're going to see a huge shift in recruiting.
Yeah.
You're going to see a huge shift in how things are done. And it's going to be a bad fall off for those teams that were relying on all of that, pay for play, collective deals and all of that stuff. So it'll level things back out to where people are actually going to have to recruit again. Like I miss the fact that you had to build relationships, but I do like the fact that, and this is I only can speak for what I know, right? Alabama is building relationships. Every recruit that I talk to that's interested in Alabama or has committed to Alabama and this new staff, I've had personal contact with all four of the current commits right now of this 25 class. And they are talking about relationship. They trust Coach Shepard. They trust Coach Mo. Kane Womack, I feel like Coach Kane got my best interest at hand. Antonio Coleman was, man, it's a different feel from when I was there talking to Coach Saban and the staff. And he said, Coach Roach is different. Like there's a different type of vibe because relationships are being built. And that was the first thing Coach Saban highlighted, man. I can't even build relationships with players and develop young men because of the way college football is allowing these guys to just throw money at them.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not creating a great environment for development. It's not creating a good competitive environment because if, like I was saying earlier, if Alabama takes on that same notion and they start tapping into the collectives and starting to reach out and, hey, private fund this, private fund that, we got to reach. Texas, just because it's in Texas don't mean it's owned by Texas. Coach Saban has some Texas reach now.
Mm-hmm.
He has some investors in Texas, some very large investors. It's a reason why the man's net worth is $70 million. You get what I'm saying? So, like, don't play that game. Don't play that game. Coach Saban can go and pay 10 recruits himself and not bat an eye. Give him $1 million. And not bat an eye.
Yeah. I know there's a lot to dive into. Yeah. And Shane's like got a little color there. You know what? Yesterday, I was out on the beach for a good amount of the day and I did get some color, but I have my hat on like forward. So I don't, what I have too is like this ring light and it does like a warm balance, but I am like, naturally like, I got a good glow to myself in general. So,
bro, your face looks so full. Like, when you get good sleep and you wake up and you like
yeah. I mean, I was asleep, which is crazy for me. Okay, like I don't know what it is, but like me personally, I feel like wrong if I slept until like 8.
Bro.
But it's great because I wake up so early. Like my alarm goes off at 4:30, sometimes 4:20,
Hmm.
because I have those workouts and stuff like that. So it's weird. I wake up like I slept till like 7:35 or something like that, and then I was just like, man, I feel like wrong.
Yeah. Yeah. Like even when y'all called me this morning and was switching up because I knew I was supposed to go on at 10. So I told myself, okay, I could stay up till 3:30 for real now. Because that means I could sleep until like 7:45, 8 o'clock. And when I seen the message around 8, I said, okay, boom. So I got up and my mom called me because Ty gave mom a shout out. You know, she was in the chat. You know, both my parents that became members of the channel. So then when they come in, they tap in, they right before they get busy during their work. But she called me, she was like, who is that? That ain't Kyle on the screen. I said, no, that's Ty, Mom. She was like, oh. I ain't know who that was saying my name. I was like, Mom, that's one of the panelists. She was like, he good. I just didn't know him. I said, Mom, you just gotta watch this show. So it was good to have that this morning, man.
Yeah, that's what's up. And Southern Red brings up a really good point right here. And I thought kind of there was a soundbite yesterday from Coach Saban when he was talking about Bryce Young getting his deals, right? And he was saying that he earned those deals. Remember, from Dr. Pepper, from DMW, from Cash App. All those were national deals that he earned based off his name, image, and likeness, right?
Right.
Just like you've seen Jalen Milroe get a couple with who's that Roback, and he got like the shoe deal or whatever with Dude Shoe Apparel. All those were NIL, and Coach Saban was like, that's what it was supposed to be for, like organizations, or companies reaching out and kind of getting behind these players. But then what it turned into was kind of the pay for play. And Coach Saban said that's kind of the model that we are at right now. And you can't, in my opinion, and it's already been proven, you can't win with a team that is bought. So, for example, like I always point to Texas A&M. They were the first program to do that. And the second program to do that is currently, sorry, I'm sitting away the comments, is Ohio State. Ohio State has just went all in the transfer portal and been able to spend who knows how much to be able to get their roster how they see fit to be able to compete this year because of the fact that Michigan, their biggest rival, just won the national championship.
Yeah,
so that's the kind of the pay for play that you have this year. Will it work out for Ohio State? I have no idea, but probably not. Like, are they going to win 11 games? Yes, it's Ohio State, right? Are they going to win a championship? Probably not.
And it just doesn't measure up on the competitive balance side, man. You telling me you've just paid a bunch of young men who are not sure in themselves, right? They're not solidified as adults. You know what I'm saying? They're still developing mentally. You're throwing a money in there, and you're not giving them the opportunity to process adult decisions because the windows are only open for so long, right? And so they feel rushed. They have to jump on these opportunities. You jump on the opportunity to go to Ohio State, and you're not even feeling the coaching staff for real, right?
Yeah, and Kevin is saying Ole Miss is another team that did, in terms of like transfer portal and NIL. That is a good example as well, Kevin. Pointing out to Ole Miss loading up. Are they going to? They were damn good last year.
Yeah,
they were an amazing coach. And are they going to be like? Are they going to be better than Alabama this season? I don't think so. But they're going to be up there. They're going to be super competitive. Who knows? They might be. They might be the 1 and 2. But the pay for play and Coach Kiffin has already come out and said, look, it has helped us a tremendous amount, but it's a mess.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what I thought was interesting. And then also with Coach Saban's comments yesterday, talking about the players kind of bouncing around from school to school to school. For example, Alabama currently. Let's just take. And I don't know this prospect at all, okay? But he's currently at Alabama. Jeremy Bernard, okay?
I think I just did the same thing we're about to do.
You know how many schools? This is his third stop.
Mm-hmm.
This is third stop in 4 years. So correct me if I'm wrong. I think he started out at Michigan State,
yep.
Right? And then went to Washington and is now at the University of Alabama. So yesterday, Coach Saban said that every time a player continues to kind of leapfrog around, their graduation percentage goes down.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I don't have the facts on that, but Coach Saban said that yesterday, and he pointed that out with the guys kind of going around. And then he kind of tied it into, or maybe we did, it's kind of tying it into uh, an entitlement approach, right? You've been
Yep.
paid, so I'm here. And, instead of like this tier type program or incentivized process for from the NIL collective to be able to look, you get this amount of money when you hit these certain thresholds, right? Like we talked
Yep.
about today. You catch for 1,000 yards, that's a $25,000 bonus. You play in this amount of snaps, 100 snaps this season, that's a $10,000 bonus, right? You play, you make all of your practices, you make you hold over a 3.5 GPA. There's also like all these incentives. So at the end of the day, you can rack up $1 million, with your first year. You stay. How about this? A staying at your school bonus. You stay at your school 2 years. Guess what? You get $200,000 for being here for 3 years.
Yep.
Right now, what are the incentives, right?
To me, Kyle, there is no incentives. There's like, you get what you can and you go. That's what they're allowing these kids to do, and it's bad for business. Like, you can't even do that in the NFL. So why are we allowing it at the college level, at the collegiate level? Mm-hmm. And people are like, the coaches can move. Well, coaches still have to sign contracts. Mm-hmm. We've already made it known that the scholarship is not a contract. The scholarship is no longer a contract. It doesn't bind them because of transfer portal. Mm-hmm. The NFL has free agency, but in mm-hmm. order to get the free agency, the program, the team has to either release you, mm-hmm. meaning that there's an agreement which they have control of your contract, right? They can cut you, and there's terms and things within that contract that they have to abide by, right? Yep. Whether mm-hmm. it's a payout or whatever, violation of rules or whatever whatever you do to void the contract, it's a contract. You don't have that in college right now, so mm-hmm. they're giving these kids the right and freedom. Like, if we keep this up. You already talked about high school kids sitting out their senior year.
Yeah, exactly. Right? And think about, I was talking with T about this yesterday. Think about this. Remember Coach Saban said when he was in the NFL, they had to pay taxes in the state that they played in, right? Mm-hmm. Think about this. I don't know like how much tax. I don't even know if this is a reality, but if they move to that, can you imagine this? What happens if players sat out bowl games because financially it didn't make sense to them because of like a tax situation? Like, I'm not going to go play in 7 snaps and have to pay taxes in X state because I played. I'm not. Yeah. So like, I'm opting out because I've went through my financial group, and they say that it doesn't make sense. I'm actually going to be paying more taxes than playing in the game. Can you imagine mm-hmm. that? Crazy.
Yeah.
And yeah. But another thing too is like, let's see, Robert. What's up, Robert? I see you inside the comment box. Robert's saying stay-at-home bonus won't work because the schools will cut kids just to save money. Yeah, I don't know. I'm just kind of like throwing out different, ideas if that would work or not. And then you because right now the schools can, and then you walk like this fine line is, can the schools pay the players, right? And then on the like playing devil's advocate, like Greg Byrne is like, there's not a lot of money here. He's like, there's not like this unlimited source. And then somebody retweeted him and was like, but you could pay your head football coach $10 million. Right. So I think the thing is, I don't think there's a lot of people against players getting paid. Right. Nah. Right. Like, there was nobody out there that said players they should 1,000,000% be paid, and paid to whatever threshold. There should be no cap on them either. It's kind mm-hmm. of the rules around how they are paid and who they're paid from. Right.
Yep. And that's what I'm for NIL. I think a lot of the powers to be are for NIL. I think because of the way that it was ignited, right? Yeah. It just got out of hand so fast because, like, we know it's been happening. It's been happening. Pay for play has been happening. Mm-hmm. But NIL was kind of like the cover up. Like, it was like the blanket to mask the mess that's behind all of it. And that was their way of doing it. And they thought it would be able to. Some group of people had to think that this would somehow dismantle the powers to be. And all it did was strengthen the powers to be of college football. But not only that, it made those who weren't quality, right? It gave them a pedestal to stand on. You get what I'm saying? Like you're not, a lot of universities aren't providing what they're supposed to be providing for a lot of these players. But now because of NIL collective and all that stuff, the way that you can pay to play, they can make it, they can show you a good weekend and set it up. Just to keep, and it's funny because some schools are really going after players just to keep Alabama or Georgia or Ohio State from getting them. Sad but true. It is what it is. You know, so that's where it is, man.
Let's do a kind of as we kind of round out the top of the hour. You want to do like kind of like a cutaway video that we could upload for later? For sure.
Let me get my diagram down because I could say this for tonight. It'll be perfect.
Cool. That's what's up. All right. And I appreciate you guys rocking with us, fam. Thank you so much for being with us during spring break. I appreciate you guys supporting Coach Smook, Coach Ty. In the back end, you know, Jarek, Sean last night had a really good show. So I appreciate you guys coming to you from Rosemary Beach for one more day. We'll be back in route to Tuscaloosa on Thursday. You know, there's been so many people here from St. Louis. St. Louis and kind of like the Dallas Metroplex. And I guess like talking with T, it used to kind of be like, you know, people from clearly like Alabama, you know, Mississippi or whatever. But now it is also like this particular trip, like you meet somebody like, hey, where you from? I'm from St. Louis. Where you from? Oh, north of Dallas. A couple people from Nashville, but mostly like St. Louis found out about 30A. It's been interesting to see. Like everyone's walking around with like the STL hats. It's like a St. Louis takeover.
Who is this?
Who this?
Oh, somebody was on Twitter. So I had got some scoop this morning, brother. You saw the decommit, the running back decommit from Auburn yesterday. Caleb Falk.
Man, it's a Auburn. It seems like they're having a tougher time since Kalen DeBoer got hired. Like with in-state guys,
as much noise as that fan base was making and those beat writers was making when we hired Kalen DeBoer, I kept saying they are scared, man. They knew it. And it was all smoke screen. I've been calling it, and a lot of their fans who know the program, who are really like have been historians of the program, when they did they fact checks with Kalen DeBoer and his recruiting, even at Fresno State, what he was able to do, Kalen DeBoer brought in the highest rated recruiting class that Fresno State had ever seen in one offseason, bro.
Yeah.
That is crazy. They had never been top 50, and they came in with a 48 ranked recruiting class at Fresno State. How do you do that?
Yeah, Fresno.
How do you do that at Fresno State, bro? Unless you able to go right there in California, right? And build relationships, because we know it's talent out there. It's a lot of 3 stars, a lot of 4 stars out there that don't get a lot of hype. Most time you're hearing about California kid is 5-star kid. Julian saying, who else came from California recently? Peyton Williams from there, but he was highly touted 4-star. Should have been a 5-star. You know, like all the kids that come from California are highly touted that you hear about, especially on this side of the world. Man, Fresno State goes over there. He pulls a number 48. And this was post-COVID too.
Yeah.
He came in during COVID. So the guy can assemble a staff, and his staffs have been able to recruit.
Yeah, so I think we should do like let's gear this video kind of like the opening towards Kalen DeBoer and his recruiting impact just in the state of Alabama. And then we'll kind of segue towards, you know, what we're watching, you know, next week for spring football, maybe on the defensive side. Because the last time we talked a little bit, we went heavy on the offense. Just like 2 points on the defense. And then, you know, just kind of wrap it up with maybe like a final thought on like, you know, Saban's comments yesterday. Is that cool?
Yep.
All right, cool. All right. All right. 3, 2, 1. Hey, what's going on, everyone? It's Kyle Henderson along with Coach Smook, both of Bama Football on YouTube. We appreciate you guys being here. Coach, let's dive right into it. The impact of Coach Kalen DeBoer recruiting specifically in the state of Alabama has been really impressive. I've talked about this many, many times. I always thought it was amazing how Coach Saban took care of his own backyard. And a lot of people were questioning how Coach Kalen DeBoer was going to be able to recruit within the southeastern, country. And he's done an amazing job, specifically in Alabama. You look at what he did from the jump with Ryan Williams. You look at Antonio Coleman flipping. You look at him getting Derek Smith, a heavily touted prospect from Selma. Let's start there. In terms of taking care of your own backyard, have you been impressed with what Coach Kalen DeBoer has done from the jump, just here in the state of Alabama?
Yes, I'm very impressed. You named two huge names, and a lot of people don't give him credit for Ryan Williams, but he did have to reassure Ryan Williams to get him to stay. And people be like, well, you flipping back? Yeah, that was a big flip. Auburn, you were celebrating. Now you're sad because now not only did we get Ryan back, we turned around and we got Antonio Coleman to flip. Now we're working on another one. We're another two, honestly, that we're working from that roster that have decommitted in the last 2 days, a D lineman and a running back. And then you look at Derek Smith, the wide receiver out of Southside in Selma, Alabama, a straight dog. Which side of the ball is he going to play on? Free safety wide receiver. Another highly touted recruit in the state of Alabama, 4-star, 92 overall rating, the number 7 player in the state, the number 8 player in his position, right? You look at Anthony Rogers out of Carver, Montgomery, Alabama, another running back, 4-star, 5'8", 190 pounds. The kid can go. Another player, Miles Johnson, another athlete who could play linebacker, who can play running back out of T.R. Miller, another school in the state of Alabama. You just look at the state, and he's not just in one part of the state. He's South Alabama, Center Alabama. We got some kids in North Alabama, Birmingham, even further north, Huntsville. Kids out, way out in West Alabama. Like, he's all over the state, locking it down. In-state recruits are excited about taking visits to Alabama. And I can't wait to continue to see how this 25 class shapes up.
What about a recruiter like Freddie Roach and his approach? And how big was it for Coach Kalen DeBoer to retain him, Robert Gillespie? And you kind of see already an instant impact from what Coach Roach has been able to do. And by the way, great mention on Turbo Rogers, because he was a prospect who never wavered. When Coach Saban retired, look, Coach Kalen DeBoer was able to make an immediate impact with him. Now coming back to the state of Alabama, there's another in-state prospect that you got. But let's talk about Freddie Roach and how he's been able to impact in-state recruiting as well.
Roach, he's already familiar with the land. But now with this new era, this new staff, with a new head coach, there's a new agenda being pushed. Not necessarily different from what Coach Saban established, but establishing relationships is taking a new turn. And Coach Roach has kind of been given the freedom to go the extra step, to go the extra bounds. And one conversation in particular I had with a recruit, a D-line recruit, is that Coach Roach is different from when Coach Saban was there. And that is a testament to Coach Kalen DeBoer and this new staff. And I mean, it's not just the coaches that's being affected or that are being affected by Kalen DeBoer, but it's the people that Kalen DeBoer has in the administrative side. His associate director of player personnel, his director of player personnel, his general manager, his director of recruiting, Sanders, Jatavis Sanders, Aaron Hodges. Who else is out there? Courtney Morgan. All those 3 names, you're going to hear their names when recruits are talking, because these are the guys that are really making the conversations, creating the lanes, and setting it up. And the way that they're doing it is not like how Coach Saban did it. And we're not knocking what Coach Saban did. He set the tone. He set the standard. You only build from that. You stack on that, and you continue to, perform and do great things. And that's what this staff with Kalen DeBoer is doing.
Not only taking care of his own backyard, but you look at the prospects that they are currently active recruiting, whether they might be committed to another school. You got a prospect from Maryland. That's a very difficult area to recruit because Coach Locks has that area on lockdown. So being able to get Zamir Smith over was a really big win as well. Let's kind of switch gears and talk about spring football and what we're looking forward to next week when Alabama starts up practice. They've only practiced 3 days. It seems like they've practiced weeks and weeks. But when we get back to business next week, and specifically talking about the defensive side, what are we looking at We've talked about the secondary plenty. Let's start with the inside linebackers. What are we looking at from the inside linebackers? What do you want to continue to see? Maybe some themes arising in that particular position.
Honestly, I just want to see who the fourth guy is. Who is the fourth guy? Meaning, you have your tandem of not just Jefferson, but Jahad Campbell, Deontay Lawson.
Mm-hmm.
They're presumed to be the leaders and the starters at the Mike and the Sting, right? And then you look at behind them, Justin Jefferson lining up behind Lawson, playing that Mike position. Who's going to be the Sting for this second group, right? Who's going to be the Sting that's going to line up to Justin Jefferson? And it's a few names that kind of come to mind when you look at it. You look at young Sterling Dixon, who's been, making a lot of positive impact early on campus. You look at another guy that's kind of been there, but, is transitioning to inside linebacker, is just Jeremiah Alexander. And a lot of people thought he was going to stay on the edge, but I've been seeing him float between both groups in all the practice clips. You see Jeremiah Alexander, and I mean, he's fast for his size. So you kind of expect him to be able to play that Sting position because that's usually your blitzing inside guy. That's your guy that's going to be heavy in run support. So I'm curious to see how that shapes up. But I think Justin Jefferson is poised to have a huge impact, even though he may not be the first to line up when it comes down to, putting the starting defense out there. I think he will be very flexible in how he's used because he has the speed, he has the range. He's in between that safety and linebacker size with his makeup. So I think we're poised for a highly touted group to have a lot of production on the inside linebacker room.
It's been amazing to see, and I'm glad you mentioned his name, is Sterling Dixon, because when you look to the inside linebackers that just jumped on board and that are enrolled at the University of Alabama, when you slow down and watch their tape, Caden Jones, big dude, 6'4", 220 pounds. Justin Okoronkwo and Sterling Dixon look like mirror images of each other in terms of athleticism and how they're being able to move. So I'm eager to see how those guys continue to develop. But good point out in terms of what we're watching at inside linebacker. Let's talk about the defensive line edge as well, because I think the biggest takeaway from the defensive side, or one of the most significant things that we saw in the first three practices, was the fact that Keon Keeley is working with the defensive line.
Yeah.
What else are we watching in terms of maybe some edge rushers, how we're working with those guys, and then also the defensive line? What are we kind of themes that we're looking for as Alabama heads into their fourth practice, which will be on March 19th?
What's crazy? I saw two guys getting a lot of work when I got to see some of the 11 on 11 period, and it was Yanzi Pierre and Quay Russaw. Mm-hmm. These two guys, I honestly believe Quay Russaw is going to be a force to be reckoned with. And Yanzi Pierre is his technique, man. It's almost like watching a technician. Like, he just goes through the motion at such a high rate, and it's so effective. Even when he doesn't win the rep, it's as if he's not worried about winning the rep, but perfecting the motion and the movement. I mean, he's put on some good weight. I'm excited for Yanzi Pierre. Quay Russaw already was college ready last year, size wise. Now he's getting to be in a defensive style. And Tim Smith, defensive lineman at Alabama, fifth year senior, he highlighted this about this style of defensive play calling. We're going to be able to get after the quarterback. We're going to be able to get after it. Like, that's what they're excited about. So you got a bunch of dogs that literally love coming off the edge. Young Jay Sean Ross making a little impact, making a name for himself early. Yep. You get what I'm saying? And you said a name, Justin Okoronkwo. Yep. I think this young man inside might get built up to play outside because he's long. He's long, and he has some speed. He can get to the quarterback. I mean, he can play in space, but I think they might end up sliding him to the edge too, man, and just have a nice, healthy rotation of 4 to 5 rotational guys that they can play the edge, whether it's Wolf or Bandit.
Yep. Lastly, I want to get your take on what do you think kind of the direction that college football will go after Coach Saban's comments yesterday on Capitol Hill, talking about NIL and everything that kind of went down at that roundtable. There's so many directions it could go. What do you think will kind of be the next steps of this if we look out to 3 months, this season, next season, other topics that might come up from that?
Well, you would hope that they first attack the transfer portal, right? You would hope that they attack that first, and put some real parameters around that, some real bars on that, because that's the start of it. If they can't leave without penalty, then you kind of cut off the what type of conversations and things can be had during the season. Like it realistically can't happen if you say you can't leave for 2 years. If you sign with this school as a freshman, you have to give them 2 years before you even are eligible for the portal. Now, after your 2 years, you get your one free transfer, and then the next one needs to cost them. It needs to cost them a semester, right? Either you sacrifice a summer and you have to enroll and go an extra semester, right, and get your credit hours, gain those 8 credit hours during the summer. Because now you're not giving them the freedom to be professional athletes in the off season. You're making them still be student athletes. Okay, you want to go to Michigan State after leaving Alabama because it didn't work out after you were signed to Texas A&M or wherever. Okay, that's fine. But guess what? You need to be in school for that summer semester, and you need to get your credit hours. You need at least 8 credit hours before the season kicks off. So you start with something like that, and then I honestly believe that we might start seeing some change. For trajectory on when we might see that, Kyle, too much money is being thrown around right now with networks and TV deals and all that stuff. It's going to take some work. It's going to take some time. We probably won't be able to see the effects of it for 2 years.
One thing that I do know is, and I agree with Coach Saban on this particular statement that he made. Well, he didn't say this directly, but kind of this pay for play. You can't win with a bot team. We've seen that in the past, and I've mentioned that many times, and we've seen an example of this being Texas A&M, and I think this year's example is Ohio State. I think the Ohio State Buckeyes will be very talented this year. They always are, but we've seen this model before. You just can't pay for a team to win the championship. I think a team is built off cohesiveness. I think a team is built off development. I think a team, most importantly, is built off quality coaches, X's and O's, along with the Jimmys and Joes. And I think how you formulate that is a process where you're able to piece together the NIL, the transfer portal, in an effective way. The teams that can do that under these unbalanced windows, credit to them. I think when more rules and parameters are set in place, I'm curious to see which coaches and players can rise up and win a national championship kind of in this world of college football, where I think it's ultra challenging. This coming year is going to be amazing in terms of the direction that we go. And with Coach Kalen DeBoer already loading up on specific needs from the transfer portal and adding some good pieces to 2024, Alabama is going to be in a very good position. You can feel the new energy here in college football going forward, like in 3 years. Who knows if a super conference is to come a super league? That's kind of what I think is going to happen. And I was thinking about this. What if Coach Saban somehow, he's only 72. He looks great, by the way. What if somehow they're able to get college football back in on the rails, whether it's another league, whatever, and he comes back to college football coaching? Do you think he could? What if he comes back at 75? Do you think
I don't see it, man.
And I want to ask the chat, okay? Do you think that there will ever be a point in time, if college football gets more rules and parameters, that Coach Saban ever comes back into coaching? Just, I don't know, maybe, 2 or 3 more years, something like that. What do you think, Smoke?
I'm about to poll it out real quick. Let me poll it out.
Let me ask you, chat, right now in the undefeated, before we end it, do you think he'll ever come back to coach, or do you think this is it?
If Coach Saban
ever find themselves? No?
I don't think so, Kyle. I honestly do not think so. I think if anything, if he comes back in any aspect of the game, it'll be as a athletic director or some commissioner for the new.
That's what I think will happen. I think I don't think he'll come back to coaching. Like, that's my answer. But what I do think is I think the direction that you're going to, if this new league is created, he would be the perfect college football commissioner. He really already is. He just doesn't have that specific title. So I think that he would come back and kind of oversee and lay the final foundation of this next wave of college football. And I think he's kind of already doing that.
Yes, absolutely. 100% agree.
So, but we appreciate you guys watching this video. Want to get your take inside the comment box, whether it's in-state recruiting, what we're watching on the defensive side of the ball, or kind of the future of college football and what you think Coach Saban's role could be. It sounds like he's already the college football commissioner, but maybe like in an official title. And by the way, I don't think a lot of people liked how they were like Mr. Saban. They should have had Coach Saban, like he's forever. And people would always talk about that, like how you would address Coach Saban at press conferences. And people hated it when you would say, or when reporters would say, "Hey, Nick, I have a question." They would be like, "It's Coach Saban."
Oh, man.
Even yesterday, it would have been amazing if they would have had the foresight to have Coach Saban on there. But we appreciate you guys being here. Hit the thumbs up on all these videos. He's Coach Smook. I'm Kyle Henderson, both of Bama Football on YouTube. Stay tuned for news as it happens right here on Bama Football on YouTube, whether it's recruiting, whether it's spring football. And, of course, Alabama will start practice on March 19th. Once again, that'll be their fourth practice. And then on March 20th, you have Pro Day from Tuscaloosa. We don't know which players will be at Alabama's Pro Day, but there's always so many head football coaches, GMs that are in town watching a couple Alabama football players, and we'll have coverage right here on Bama Football on YouTube. Appreciate you guys and watch you guys. See you guys next time right here on Bama Football on YouTube.
Roll Tide.
All right, that was the cut. So Smook, you want to take them home? And I'll bounce out. But hey, fam, I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for supporting Coach Smook. Coach Jarrett, Coach Sean, Ty. Merrill should be back. We got T as well. So all of you guys make this possible right here on Bama Football on YouTube. We appreciate you guys more than you know. Stay tuned for maybe a pop-up video for me later today. The weather's good. Got to hit the beach one more time before we head back tomorrow. So I appreciate you guys. Smook's got to take you guys home and see you guys from beautiful Rosemary down here in Florida.
Facts. All right, Kyle. Appreciate you, brother. Hey, Roll Tide, chat. Appreciate my brother Kyle popping in. I love how he just pop in and just give me impromptu stuff like it. I'm all about that, man. I can go with the best of them. So, big things happening today. You all know we got some content coming y'all way. Had to make sure this candle wasn't burning the wrong way. It felt like it was. I think the fan being on blew it out. But listen, what's good? What's good, Coach Al? How y'all feeling tonight? Undefeated, let's talk, because we're going to save my segments for our night segment. We're going to get into On the Radar. As a matter of fact, this will actually give me time and give those players that I'm featuring, I'm going to reach out to them and tell them to jump in the chat, and we may be able to have them on, some of these recruits, have them on, and watch them react to their film. So this is pretty cool. This is pretty cool that this worked out today like it did. Kind of giving y'all the pre-amp version of for our segment tonight. What's up, chat? Adam Garcia come in just saying random stuff, man. T Holden, what's good, my boy? How you feeling? Betsy, who birthday it is? Who birthday? Please hit the like button, family and friends. Antoine, he's trying to get y'all on game, y'all. Trying to tell y'all how to get the people in. Whose birthday is it though? What's up, Al? Coach Al in the building. I haven't seen you, man. Look, he says Saban is done with coaching. In fact, the longer he's away from coaching, the further he'll get away from it and into other pursuits. You don't know what you have time for until you have time, right? And that's why I said I think this commissioner role, I think he loves the game of college football so much. That's why he's pushing this initiative. But I do have to disagree. I think he comes back at some type of capacity to see this thing through. That's one thing Coach has done his whole career. He saw things through. Even at Miami, he said he wasn't going to be at Alabama, but he saw it through. He made sure that everybody was communicated into what his decision was, and he saw it through. Yep. What's up, Ty? How you feeling? Family? Feeling good today, y'all. Yes, life is short. It is short, Betsy. You right. We in the Undefeated Chat Talk segment, man. Y'all know what time it is, man. Y'all, let's get questions in. Let's get comments. Let's see what we got. What's on the mind? How do we feel about this recruiting class so far? I already just named out the 5 commits that we have already. We have 5 commits in this class already. You're looking at Derek Smith from Southside Selma, Alabama. You're looking at Anthony Rogers from Carver Montgomery, Turbo, 4-star. Looking at Antonio Coleman, 4-star. Defensive lineman out of Saraland, Alabama, who's, I think, all three of those names I just called are going to end up being 5 stars when the final rankings come out. Who else? You got Miles Johnson, 4-star. It'll be a push to keep him from being a 5-star. He's an athlete. You got Zymir Smith, who's a 3-star. And y'all remember when I brought his film up before he even committed to Alabama. Before I even was able to contact him and start building that relationship, man, that young man, whew, that young man is ready, dog. That young man is ready. I really hope we put him on the offensive side. Me and Brody Smoot was talking last night, and we were talking about how he has this Waddle-like speed, Waddle Henry Ruggs type speed. I mean, I'm telling you, I really like this young man. Cynthia Middleton said, outstanding, Smoot. We need Trav Jr. next. Hey, I'm working on him. He at Georgia this week. Yesterday he was at Georgia campus, and Georgia is making a nice push for him. They making a nice push for him. Smoot, how many 5 stars do you see Bama getting in this class? Listen, man. Honestly, and I'm gonna go to the list. I'm about to look at them. I'm gonna put some names. You know what? I'm gonna put some names out there, and I want y'all to really I want y'all to pay attention and listen. Juju Lewis is a 5-star. That's one I expect for us to get. I don't see any 5-star running backs that we're targeting. Surprisingly, there aren't many 5-star running backs in this class. That's crazy to me, right? There aren't a lot. You know, usually running backs we're dominating the recruiting. Who else I'm looking at? I don't see any 5-star receivers we're going to get, right? I'm just looking at their current star ratings. I know we just offered that tight end Lincoln yesterday. He was nice, man. Who else, man? I think the 5-star offensive lineman, David Sanders, I think we're going to pick up heavy on him. It's another guy that nobody's talking about, and I'm trying to wonder why. And it's Josh Petty out of Roswell, Georgia. I think Georgia's on him heavy, but I feel like we can snag this kid. I really think we can. I think Georgia and Auburn kind of in there. He hasn't made another visit, and so I think we can pull him though. I think we can pull him. I think we can flip him from and he isn't committed anywhere, so that's a good thing. We're still in the runnings for that. So who else, man? They say this Babaloa kid. I'm not sure. I was listening to some conversations about him. Oklahoma is real heavy on him, right? Let me see who his offers are from. Let me click on his opening. We got Oklahoma, Alabama, Arkansas, Auburn, Colorado. Like I said, I think he's an Oklahoma lean coming from Kansas. I don't know, man. I can't call nothing. Al Sanders. Do I think Jamie French recommits? Nope. And I don't like to say this because it's not that I don't think he's a good player. I don't too much care to have Jamie French when you got guys like Zamir Smith, Derek Smith, you know, you got Travis Smith Jr. that's on the line. You got so many other wide receivers in this class that to me provide more. They just provide more with this class. I'm looking at the list now. You got Farrakhan. That kid is better than Jamie French. I'm looking at Derek Smith. Who else? Travis Smith Jr. Marcus Harris is starting to show some interest. The young man out of Mater Day, he's starting to talk Bama a little bit. I mean, I don't think we're going to get Winston Watkins. To Nuke Hines, we had him on the reels early, before he started showing interest in Arizona. I think it's either Arizona or Arizona State, one of them. So I've been doing my homework on recruiting, y'all. I've been really doing my recruiting. And I told y'all before, I'm the type, I only pay attention to guys that Alabama is interested in and that we're going after. We're still on the line for CJ Wiley. A lot of people, even myself, I've started feeling like he's more so an Auburn lean, but I'm seeing that the Auburn trend is starting to die off. The Auburn hype is starting to be burnt out. So yeah, I'm good on Jamie French. It's a lot more targets out there that's better. Southside and Selma are completely different places. Y'all know that, right? So he goes to Southside High School in Selma, Alabama. You know that, right? As soon as he commit, you're going to talk about how special he is. Who, Jamie French? Jamie French? I'm not saying he's not special. I wouldn't care to go after him. Me, I'm just saying there's other special talents. That's just my personal opinion. I think we kind of all entitled to our opinion, right? I'm just saying, Jamie French, when I watch him as a wide receiver coach and have experience at the position, I look at there and I see 5 or 6 names that I would put in front of him easily. Yeah, T. Holden, he's from up there in Maryland. According to 247, there are currently 4 4-stars and 1 3-star committed to the 2025 class. Yep. Just went over it. Zayden Walker. I haven't been here much. And you know what? You know what I like about Zayden? He's one of those cats that you're not going to hear a lot from him. But when he gets ready to make his decision, you know he's locked in. You know. And he's not going to play around with the media and all that stuff. I like that young man. A lot of guys that I'm excited about are really on the edge, man. We got a lot of edge rushers that's showing interest in Alabama. A lot of edge rushers. Yeah, we didn't, and that's the thing. People, yeah, we didn't overload on 5 stars. We had highly rated 4 stars, guys. Alvin Henderson, I like him. And he out of Elba. I like Alvin Henderson. Anthony Rogers has been locked in. He been locked in. Hey, and that's what Coach Al, me and you we'll get ridiculed for that. We'll get ridiculed for that because I look at players' personalities, man, and that energy, man, it's just, and he's young. And they have their right, man. Me as a coach, I don't too much care to deal with that energy, that type of energy. And that's nothing wrong. That's just my personal opinion, y'all. Nothing wrong with that. Some people say get the best player regardless of their attitude. Not me. I'm a locker room guy. If I could get my guys to be together in the locker room, we already done won half the battle on the field. You get what I'm saying? I guess that 2023 class was very special, being able to get 9 5-stars. Yeah, they was different. But you got to remember when they first committed, 4 of them was 4 stars. Their final ratings, they came out as 5 stars. So during their whole recruitment, they weren't 5 stars. It was 4 of them that ended up getting that last 5-star. Yep. Tell them QB Reese in this class is going to be one that 5-star talent. When does Jamie announce? I don't know. Y'all going to have to ask him. I'm just saying, I don't too much care to. Jared Smith is an edge. Jacaleb Falk is an edge. Zion Grady. Who else? Nasir Wyatt. You know, they counted us out for him, but man, I like our chances. Michigan not gonna get him no more. Michigan was the one I was worried about, and I know we can go and take anybody from Oregon. Nasir Wyatt might be one guy that we might pull. Who else, man? It's a few edge rushers. Just the few that I named, those are the ones I'm excited about. Let's look at some more of these D-line prospects. Let me see. I'm gonna pull this list up because I haven't got deep into this segment. I mean, this part of the recruiting. Oh man. Of course, y'all know we got Antonio Coleman. We got London Merritt is on the hook, right? Ohio State is really pushing for him, IMG guy. You know, we do good with getting into IMG and dipping into IMG, right? Right? Wendy Six says, do I have any film on Hardy Watts? Send me, look, during the live show, guys, and I'm going to keep reiterating this. If you want me to check out players for under the radar, on the radar, whatever, send it to the email, coachschmook@gmail.com, because during the live is not the time. You get what I'm saying? We kind of just, we want to keep that flow going. Tonight, we're going to be going over some guys. I'm not going to reveal their names because that would take away the hype of it. But if you want to get me to look at some players, some recruits, go ahead and email your boy. It works better that way. I can go and set the stream up, set the backstage up, and we'll be able to get it in that way. Jaquez Carter is another guy that I like. He's a 3-star out of Newberry, Florida. A lot of people aren't paying attention to him, but he wants to be at Bama. I might pull him up tonight. You know what? Let me do this. Yeah, Jaquez gonna get some screen time tonight on the Smook Scoop. Yeah, we're gonna go ahead and do that. I like that young man's game. I watched this film the other day. Somebody sent it to me. Hey y'all, guess who else we looking at? It's a young man out of Lufkin, Texas. His name is Zion Williams. But he's definitely going to be a Texas guy. I seen, a few of his little clips, and he loved throwing up them Longhorns. Zayden Walker, I'm excited about him. Sly County. Hey, listen, if y'all didn't, I played in Phoenix City, Alabama, right? So Sly County is like down towards, I want to say like Albany. I want to say, if I'm not mistaken, in Georgia. They play a good brand of ball down there. Bunch of young guys. A bunch of small schools, but they got some of them country boys out there. But I don't think we got a chance with him. He's trying to get out of the state. I don't think Georgia even has a chance at that young man, and he's in their backyard. Some kids just want to get away. Some people want to get away and play, have an opportunity to play early. And some of the schools that offer them, they have that opportunity for them. Who else, man? I was trying to find the guy that they was talking about the other day. It wasn't Elijah Barnes. Who was the inside linebacker? I want to say it was dang, I'm having a blank. Is it Xavier Sales? Zadarian? Let me pull this thing up. Let me see. Click back. When I see the name, I'm remember Zadarius Rainey Sale. This young man right here. If we can get this young man 6'2", 224 star linebacker out of Washington, he's a rangy. He's another Justin Jefferson. Has a lot of speed, very rangy. Let me pull his thing too. I'm gonna screenshot alert him too. Yeah, we definitely gonna definitely talk about you, sir. Get you some screen time too on the Smook Scoop. What y'all think about Tyler Lockhart? Mississippi State trying to keep their guys locked down. 6'3", 200 pounds, inside linebacker. I think we got a chance with him. He spoke on Alabama. He spoke on Alabama recently. I like him. Get him a visit. If we can get him to visit, it's over with. I'm telling y'all. If we can get him to visit, it's over with. And Anthony Saka, that's another kid. I follow him on Twitter. I reached out to him. He responded to me a whole bunch. So I'm going to go ahead and give him some love tonight, too. You know what? We're going to run a few guys. Y'all, what do y'all think about me doing a whole segment of just recruits? Like an hour long of just film, reactions, reacting to recruits, looking at everything. Only way I think it'll work is if you guys send the email. I think it'll be better if you send the emails because I get stuck watching in-state. I'm a firm believer, man. We got enough talent in-state to doggone have a top 5 recruiting class in-state. Like if we got 24 players in-state, we would have a top 5 recruiting class. Yeah, Central IMG played last fall, but I don't think not last fall before last. I don't think it was like the IMG. IMG has 3 different varsity teams. They have like your national team, then you have your state team, right? And then you have like the JV team that travels and plays other varsity teams. So Smook attended a Carver game with me this year. Wish we can get Turbo to bring his teammate at wide receiver from Carver to Bama. You talking about TK Norman? You talking about TK Norman, Dayo? Because if you talking about TK Norman, I've been talking to TK Norman and the family. Yeah, TK Norman. If you talking about TK Norman, I know TK and his family, right? And TK is actually being groomed by a coach in the area, Phoenix City area, Coach Spivey. Has a nice 707 program, but he has developmental coaches on his staff. And a lot of these guys go to these specialized development sessions and they get this specialized training. And TK was a quarterback, but now he's a wide receiver, and he's definitely one of the most highly touted 4 stars. And Auburn's been pushing for him. But I guarantee you, if TK get this doggone Alabama offer, he won't waste no time committing. And if a guy like TK commits, I hate it for guys that are playing around, because then they're going to pull off. He's a quality guy, a route technician. You talking about Jerry Jeudy 2.0 and TK Norman. Yes, Jerry Jeudy 2.0. Tell him, Dayo, am I tripping? Coach, is your email posted on the channel page for easy access when streams aren't live? No, sir, it's not. No, sir, it's not. But it's not that hard to remember. Coach Smook together at gmail.com. You just Coach Smook, just how you say it. You know my name, right? Just put it there at gmail.com. Just hit that thing, bro. Hit that thing. Hit that thing. Just email your boy. As a matter of fact, if you screenshot it right now, y'all know how to screenshot iPhones. Screenshot that bad boy right now. That's why I'm leaving it up. Give everybody time to kind of get the email down. Oh, I left off on Anthony Saka and Luke Metz, y'all. Luke Metz is a guy I think if we can pull this young man, he might not be a day one starter, but this is a quality 3-star out of Mill Creek. Y'all know what type of talent gets produced out of Mill Creek, right? Caleb Downs. Like they're coming up. They're coming up. So that's the linebackers I'm liking. Let's see. Corners in this class, this 25 class. I mean, just athletes everywhere in this cornerback room. I'm talking about athletes. So yesterday I was looking at a lot of doggone running back film, a lot of running back highlights, right? So today I said I'm gonna go to the other side of the ball, and guess what group came up like first? The DBs, the cornerbacks. So I'm gonna look at the cornerbacks, but some early names I'm excited about. Dejon Lee, you get what I'm saying? He's a solid dude. Alabama's definitely heavy on him, and he's high on Alabama. I think they're number one. If I had to guess, based off of the way he listed. Who else? Looking at it's a young man named Tristan Haynes out of Oklahoma City. I like this 4-star recruit. He's college size already. 6'2", 175. Get to Bama, he gonna put on 15 pounds easy. A quick 190. You see what we've done to Jalen Mbakwe already. A guy like Tristan Haynes, rangy, fast, like same thing. A lot of these young guys in this cornerback room, in this cornerback class, 25 cornerbacks, they're gonna have an opportunity to get some early looks and be rotational guys. They might not play early, right? They might not play heavy snaps early, but they will get opportunities because there's open season next year for a lot of the secondary positions. We're going to probably be losing Keon Sabb, definitely going to be losing Malachi, Smitty, Tony Mitchell. We might Tony Mitchell probably be the senior in that, not the senior, the veteran in that group. But it's going to be a lot of guys going to the league, and we're going to need to regroup. We're going to need to regroup to have some depth. We're going to have to build depth. Coach Smoot, which position is critical in is in critical need in 2025? I think the secondary. I think the cornerback group, because we didn't go heavy in this class, and we was able to secure some solid guys. I think 6 defensive backs in this 24 class we were able to sign. We got 2 out of the portal, and Damani Jackson and Keon Sabb, so a total of 8. And you usually want like 12 to 10 to 12 guys in the secondary room. That's safeties and DBs. You want at least 12 to be able to put like 3 deep, 2 deep at your free safety, and then you want to go like 3 deep at everything on the second level. So yeah, I think the DB room is definitely needed. We need to go and really pick it up. Smoot, they could put y'all socials in the description in every video in case people need it. That's a good suggestion, Jor. TK reminded me of Henry Uggs, not as fast but close. He need to camp at Bama to be seen. And that's what Pop said. That's what Pops just said. When we was talking to Pops earlier in February, TK will be at a Bama camp, and once he shows up, it's up. Yeah, I do have a link tree, but I'm not gonna put it in here. I gotta wait for approval, man. Y'all got good suggestions though. Y'all got great suggestions. Grayson Littleson, another kid that's it's crazy because he doesn't have a lot of big time offers, right? I think I saw somewhere where he's Appalachian State was one of his top offers as a 4-star out of Tampa, Florida. It's kind of weird to me. So I know he's probably leaning Bama too. Haven't really got a chance to really indulge and and see where his head is. I'm actually, you know what, looking at this, I might just reach out. And then you got Timothy Merritt out of Birmingham, Alabama. And I told y'all we got some hidden talent, some hidden gems. This is a kid I've been able to watch personally, and his top 2 schools, I wouldn't mind him going to Alabama State, being that I'm a legacy Alabama State. You know, I ain't gonna say I'm a legacy. My family is legacy Alabama State. But and he's very high on Alabama also. As a matter of fact, Timothy Merritt is going to get a reach out from me because I like that young man's film. I liked his film a couple weeks ago when we looked at his highlights. So we're going to reach out to a few of these guys today, and hopefully we can have hey, what'd be cool is if we can get one of these recruits that we're discussing on the show tonight to watch the film with us. So y'all check me on Twitter at Coach Smoot on Twitter, right? Check me out on Twitter. Check me out on Twitter, right? At Coach Smoot on all platforms. And get active. When you see me post a recruit on my uptrend alert or Smoot stud, you know what I'm saying? We're gonna start calling doing our own little post of the day. Myself and Brody Smoot are kind of collabing. We're covering recruiting, right? He does the writing side. I do more so of the reactive side, the engagement side. And we're building a partnership amongst Bama content creators, amongst Bama coverage, right? Hey, listen, the only thing I say about TK comparison to Ruggs, like you said, TK not as fast. That's but his route running ability. Ruggs wasn't necessarily a route technician because he could just beat you off the ball. He had great release. Wasn't necessarily the route technician. When I watched TK run the comeback route or the dig or the post corner, like or what they call the space route, the deep over route, how he sets it up and just continues to climb at a solid angle. Like that young man has a deep understanding for conceptual route running. And that's not taught in a lot of places. Coach Spivey teaches conceptual route running, spacing. Yeah, you might have a slant, but where's the spacing that you need, right? I really think that kid, if he gets a Bama offer, he's committing. He's committing. Because he's really under the radar. A lot of people not talking about TK. And it's crazy to me. Safeties. I don't think we're gonna go heavy in the 25 class for safeties, but I do feel like that there's some guys that, you know, you go after them, they gonna come your way. Tennessee's after this guy Hayward out of Lyons, Georgia. The Hayward kid out of Lyons, Georgia. Oh my God. Oh yeah, B Russell. Messi was definitely a route technician because, you know, he only like a 4.45. He not that fast. 4.5. Messi not that fast. That joker will route you up though. That joker will route you up. Hey, Tyler Roberts, that big boy. Nah, I'm not. Sometimes huge ain't always good, y'all. That stuff, man, I'm telling y'all. He get to the next level, it's gonna be a different ball game for him. Anquan Fagans, y'all heard he been chill on us, but there have been some rumors that the young man out of Thompson and Malachi and all those guys that have those connections to him. Yeah, there's been some talks. I would love to get Anquan. Oh my Lord. If we can get that young man to just see that, hey, we love you. We want you here at Alabama. We get him. I'm telling y'all. And it's just so much talent, y'all. It's so much talent in this class that is showing serious interest in Alabama. And they have reason to. They have reason to. Like this team, this squad, this staff is really cold-blooded, man. They are nasty. And then there's like, y'all know I love my underdogs. Rashad Johnson, he's out of Florida. A 3-star kid. I think he's number 82 in the state, number 42 at his position. A lot of underrated kids, man, that just don't like the camp because most kids think 7-on-7 is where it's at right now. And it is. For some of them, it's fun. And it's not real football. You know, I don't agree that it's real football. I think it's all about, it's a competitive way to stay working out. Like, it's competitive workouts for me. You know, you're working out. You instead of just you and some friends showing up to a field and doing one-on-ones that's not organized. You add some rules to it. You add a competitive edge to it. That's what 7-on-7 is supposed to be for. And it does allow you to see some of these guys' athleticism, especially some of your all your skill positions. Secondary guys, like, man. Yeah, and I saw somebody talking about Naeem Oford. I think we talked about it last year that Alabama is definitely back in the runnings for him. Ohio State has a stronghold on him right now, but I think he's just made a list of official visits he's going to take, and Alabama's on that list. Alabama's definitely on that list. Daryl Johnson, man, y'all know Duke Johnson. I feel like he's a strong Bama commit. I already called that one. I'm telling you, I'm sticking to that one. I think Duke is Bama. Who else? Vernell Brown. Where y'all think Vernell Brown going to? The athlete out of Florida. Another talent that can play both sides of the ball. I don't think he's coming to Bama. Me personally, I don't think Vernell is coming. He has some previous ties to Florida, right? He has some ties to Miami, right? And Ohio State is really pushing for him. So I don't know. I don't think, but he was named early in the process. Who else, man? Let me see. Can I pull this other list up? Let me see. All right, so y'all remember I was telling y'all about the 3-star kid that I was coaching, and or that I had an opportunity to kind of deal with when I was at Prince George. Harry Dalton, 3-star, 5'10", 197 out of Dinwiddie County. He was at Prince George for a while. Harry Dalton, to me, he's more of a track star. But because he's in Virginia, it's a lot of hype around him because of where he's from. Yeah, I'm not. But under the right tutelage, I think he can come to the next level and be a solid free safety or rover. Under the right tutelage, I would like to see that man get some shine coming from where he's from up there in Virginia. Somebody said hopefully Freddie Roach. Jeremy Saunders said hopefully Roach can flip Justice Terry. I don't think so. Justice Terry and Georgia are locked in, bro. And honestly, we get Coleman, right? We got Coleman in this class. And who's my other guy? I was just talking about him. Terry, I think that was. On my defensive line. I just screenshotted all these dudes. Hold on. That D line. You got edge. Offensive line, you got edge. Boom. Here we go. We was just talking about, I think Justice Terry is definitely a hard Georgia. He's stuck with Georgia. He right there in their backyard. They whining and dining him the right way. I really think he's stuck there. I wouldn't even make that push. London Merritt, if we can secure Antonio Coleman, London Merritt, and Kevin Otis out of Mississippi, oh yeah, we gonna be solid. We're gonna be solid. Not even Otis. I'm thinking Jaquez Carter can be a good replacement for missing out on Justice. Like, we didn't really miss on Justice, in my opinion. Still would be a nice land to land a top 10 defensive tackle. Well, you got Antonio Coleman, who's going to end up being a top 10. He's number 11 in the state, number 14 in his position. He's going to be a 5-star before it's all said and done. Some recruiting bases have him ranked higher than Justice. London Merritt too, right, sitting right there on the top 10 in state, sitting right there outside the top 10 and over in the nation in his position. I'm just not big on those guys that commit early. Like, I really think that Jaquez Carter is a quality 3-star that you can sneak and steal, and you see him on the field. You'll be able to feel his impact on the field. Yeah, I'm not too big on big names, y'all. I don't get caught up in the names. I look at film, and you see Justice Terry and be like, woo. I see Antonio Coleman and be like, wow. I see Merritt and be like, wow. I see Jenkins, and even though he's not a Bama lean right now, being from DC, I think we can go up there and steal a talent from up there, 6'5", 315, and can move like Justice, can move like some of the other guys we're mentioning. Oh my, I'm telling y'all. Sources, Ohio State running back coach Tony Alford is expected to be the next running back coach at Michigan. He's informed officials that he's leaving. Football Scoop first reported him as a target. Why is that important to us, Jor? I thought you was reporting something Bama related. Y'all got chat ADD like I got ADD up here. I don't be talking about random stuff all the time. Imagine Zion Williams coming, skipping out on Texas and coming to us. That would hurt Texas. He only 3-star right now, but you turn that kid's film on, he definitely could get that 5-star rating easily. I'm excited about what we got going, y'all, in the recruiting trail. Yo, it's been fun today. Be back for tonight's segments. I'm going to pull this up again so y'all can see what we got tonight. We'll talk about why it's so quiet, right? Why it's so quiet right now when it comes to talking about Alabama and recruiting. We're going to talk about who's on our radar in recruiting. We're going to talk about who's under the radar, who should be on our radar. That's, under the radar. And then we're going to talk about all this in-state talent at running back in the state of Alabama. We're going to dive into those segments tonight. I'm on at 8 p.m. I'm closing us out tonight. At 6 p.m., you got fan reactions with Jance. Then after him, you got Just My Humble Opinion with Coach Sean. And then I'll be closing us out with all of the segments I just mentioned to you. Don't forget to show some love to our sponsors. As a matter of fact, let's show our sponsors some love right now, and then we'll close it out. Hey, take it away, Kyle.
Special thanks to our sponsor, Residence in Ocean City, Maryland. Guests can book at residenceinOC.com. Use the promo code LPR for special Bama football pricing up to 20% off. Also, go to therogueshop.com. Use the promo code Bama. You get legal CBD. For me, personally, I like the topical oil. You know how intense my workouts are, right? So I like the topical oil. I like to rub that on my back, whatever, after those cinder blocks. So go to their website, cruise down, look through their website, and definitely check out rogueshop.com. And like I said, I like the topical. Again, the promo code is BAMA. Also, think about becoming a fan funder right here on Bama Football on YouTube. Become a part of the Undefeated as low as $2.99 a month. That's 10 cents a day. How do you do this? Make sure you're logged into your account. This is on a computer. You can also do this on your phone and look for the tab that says membership. Once you click membership, you can see different options. You can see an upgrade button right there to the right if you want to go through the different levels. We have fan funder videos from the staff right here at Bama Football on YouTube. Very easy to navigate. Let us know if you have questions inside the comment box when trying to upgrade or renew your fan funder membership right here on Bama Football on YouTube. And of course, if you want to rock that undefeated gear, check out our merch store located at the bottom of the videos. We appreciate Patriot Life, Cynthia, Antoine, Caitlin, and to everybody else that supports us right here on Bama Football on YouTube.
Sure, Moon Rocker, Ohio State's a competitor. I just don't see why we want to talk about them on a Bama show when they are irrelevant to what we're doing right now. Ohio State got Caleb Downs, Seth McLaughlin, and Julian Sayin. That's the only thing that matters from what they've done in the past 6 months when it comes to them competing with Alabama, because other than that, they are no competition to us. That's all I'm saying. I don't care to follow Ohio State, Michigan, Washington, Oregon. Let them do what they do. I'm more worried about Bama. And that's just my take. Yeah, I'm back. Nah, I was gonna close it out anyways, but yeah, y'all gonna miss me. Y'all can miss me with that, competitors. Get out of here. Miss me with that. You understand? Miss me with it. That's what my cousins say. Miss me with that. But yeah, man, that's just me, man. There's so much going on for Bama. I don't care to look at Ohio State. Ugh. Sickening. I don't care. Mention them for what, Moon Rocker? Man, you following them. You following them, Moon Rocker. You the one. Oh, competitor. I'm on your neck too, Moon Rocker. D'Angelo. But nah, y'all, we lit, y'all. Tonight, we back with it tonight. Y'all come in, turn up the chat like you do. Make sure we're sharing the broadcast when we come in too. It takes 2 seconds to share it. And yeah, you said You said undefeated pays the bills. We can have all types of nuggets. Hey, do what you do, man. But don't get mad when I react to it. Don't get mad when I react to it. Don't get in your feelings. Because you know I'm going to react to it. So don't get in your feelings. Don't get in your feelings. You put it out there. I'm going to acknowledge it, right? That's my job. So don't get in your feelings. Yo, man. Tonight, Nicole, you better come back tonight. Talking about tomorrow. You better be back tonight. Brian Russell in the chat. Hey, much love, y'all. Hey, tune in tonight, man, for the vibes. We're going to crank this thing up. We're going to do what we do. Hey, much love to everybody in the chat. I'm Coach Smook. And y'all know how I like to end the segment, man, with a big old roll tide. Y'all enjoy y'all day. See y'all tonight, baby.